bit of an idiot. Because I'd prefer that. Oh yeah, live streaming isn't available right now. Yeah, try again. It says excellent connection. Every time I click go live, it tells me live streaming isn't available right now. I love that. Love it. Okay, is it live dashboard? Are we going? Is it there? It says we got a connection, and I have... Okay, John Ratchey says, yippee, he's live. John Washburn says, can see you. Hello? Yes, my preview still shows a black screen, but it says the connection is excellent. It is excellent connection. Okay, now where is everything else? All the other windows went away. So, hello World Wide Web, I'm Dr. Sean V, that person on the best hair, and welcome back to the first of the 40... Welcome to Live and Wired, episode 40, as seen on TV. Joining, as always, we have that long-haired creepy guy.
With both Doritos, and Kindle, and TV Thulu.
And, you can already tell things are going to be a little touch and go for a bit here.
Yeah, pray for me, people.
I got a Skype message.
Doritos.
Oh, that's why. It's my fault. In all my running around making sure everything was all right and set up and the links are everywhere, I kind of forgot to send the link to the actual live stream to Patricia. One second. Real quick, I'm just gonna turn off the video for just a second, so that I can invite people and I don't flash a link on the screen. Okay.
Also, Benjamin Gando dropped $1. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ben. Oh, okay. Sorry about that, Patricia. I'm a professional. I know all about how to set up and do things with the skill of the masters. Yep. Now, how is that going? Okay, so the Africa TV seems to be working. I'm probably going to have to mute that in a second. French name says, will I be alone on Twitch? Possibly. But it's going on Twitch, YouTube, DLive, Mixer, and Africa TV. Yes, it is going. I just... Pause that so I'm not eating my bandwidth. Can I pause that? I don't know. There's a stop button, but not a pause button. Okay, that's fine. I'll just keep that to the side. Hi!
I'm going to kill you, by the way, because you forgot to send me a link.
It was him. It wasn't me. It was him.
Everyone makes these mistakes. Send link, don't send link. It's just so close together on the buttons.
It's fine. I'll forgive you for now.
John Washburn says, hello, Patricia.
Hello, John. How's it going?
Jay Fernston says, Decker, please do not review the porn Jackie Chan was in. Jackie Chan did a porno?
I mean, there was already that porn that Sylvester Stallone did that I did not review because it's... when you take into account, it's his first movie, it's like, kind of, but no. The actual version of it that was first made, he had a very small role in that was mostly edited out, and after he gained stardom, they went back to the footage they had and re-edited it together to try and make his very minor side role into something bigger, to be like, hey, we got Rocky, and he's like, and... It really never was that in the first place, so it was just... Yeah, it was just too much, and I'm like, I really don't care, honestly. Everyone already knows, and that's it. So, job done. There's no real reason to go ahead and do that, so...
Yeah.
So what is this?
We actually have a few comments, by the way. We have a $1.
We have a viewer on Mixer, but for some reason the restream chat in Mixer is stopped. Dang it.
Oh. We have a $1 donation from Benjamin Cadib, but no comment. But thank you for the donation. And we have $2 Canadian dollars from Horror Edit, who says, "Love your videos" with a heart emoji.
Thank you. Let me see if I can get on the Mixer chat on my Surface I got right here. I got 2 monitors. I got the 2 monitors set up on the desktop, and I got my Surface right here. I'm trying to do this professionally, I swear, as I whack my hand into my microphone.
Also, yes. I looked it up real quick. Apparently, Jackie Chan did star in an adult film comedy called All in the Family in 1975.
Well, that is lovely.
I take it it's not to be confused with the other All in the Family?
Or maybe that it was intentionally meant to be confused there, but...
Possibly.
Okay, can I find myself on Mixer? Because I'm not signed in.
Timmy Brasher says, "Do a Danny Phantom review / drinking game." That would be a lot of fun that I could do. I could probably talk about, like, season 3 was a disaster when Butch Hartman let go of his main writer because he wanted to take the series in
I love how Mixer, just because I occasionally play M-rated games, all of my streams are therefore, this stream is for mature audiences only. 18 plus. We're talking about video games and movies, jeez. And Jackie Chan in an adult film, but we're not showing the damn thing.
Yeah. Like, honestly, I would like to see Decker review that.
Okay, so Cammy F21 and Budging Lotus 599 and Soul Scythe are all on Mixer. Okay, Soul Scythe was there a long time ago, I think. Or was I? Was he? I don't know.
We have a $2 comment from Method Rock Synth, who says, "Could you review Ender's Game?"
Okay, I see what's going on. Ender's Game? Let me... dang it. I'm not sure what that is. But I do know I have to go grab my other mouse.
Jake Suter says, "Take a drink every time he says, 'I'm going ghost.'" Hey, you'll die.
You'll die. You will literally die. Brennan Roberts says, "Decker, did you see the video I did giving my thoughts on you guys?" I actually did see that, Brennan.
I think I saw that it existed, and I was like, I'm going to have to watch that later. A terrible thing to say. I should never say that ever, because it just never fucking works out the way I plan. So, no, but I should soon.
Judson Gaiden asks, "Does Creepy like Xanadu? Are you referring to the NES game or the movie with Olivia Newton-John?"
I'm going to assume that they mean the old NES game, which I never actually played. I did not have a copy of it, unfortunately, as a kid. I did watch a playthrough of it once. It seemed okay.
And for those who are thinking about it's the movie, then what are your thoughts on that movie?
On the movie, it ranges from surreal and cool to kind of boring. It just kind of goes back and forth. And also, the male protagonist is a piece of shit.
Okay, well, you got your opinion. You got Creepy's opinion on both of them. So there you go, Judson.
4,000 Huff super chat from Carmagen. It's Karate Ghostbusters, Spiritual Kung Fu, on the list of 2 review. It is Karate Ghostbusters. I can read. I don't need glasses. No. Karate Ghostbusters, Spiritual Kung Fu, on the list of 2 review Jackie Chan movies. Well, I don't have it yet, but suddenly, even if that doesn't make the summer, that still sounds like something I should probably check out.
Sounds cool. Jane Fernston says it's Xanadu. Oh, well, Xanadu. Yeah, pardon my confusion. Let's see. Ultra Rider Dragon asks, "Creepy, is Chibi Thulu voiced by you?"
No. Chibi Thulu is voiced by Ngonyama 70.
Okay. And by the way, Cleveland Maker, my camera's on the fritz again. I can't see. I probably need to restart my computer in order for me to fix it. So when I have a chance, I'll get to it.
Right.
Let's see. Jay Fernstein asks if considering Xanadu, skip it and go to Barbarella. Darth Necrosis says, wondering if Who Am I is part of the Summer of Jackie Chan. No, you have to wait and see.
Who? I know what I'm doing.
Sure. Don't worry, Decker. We'll take care of you.
John Washburn's asking, is it true Creepy is 6'4"? Yes. He's a tall motherfucker. I'm 6 feet, even. 183.5 centimeters. And Creepy is more.
Interesting way to phrase that, but all right.
And I'm shorter than both of them. I'm only 5'3". I'm not very tall.
Oh. You are adorable and cute.
Thank you. I really do appreciate that.
Might not be the thing you want to hear. I know that when people come back with that sort of thing, the usual response is like, fuck that, I want to be a giant.
John Ratsey says, can we all agree we need to see Decker suffer with the My Little Pony movie, the one that came out recently?
Wait, what? Huh? Who's it?
For a second there, I thought you were talking about the one from the 80s.
I was actually going to say that. The one from the 80s, it's that should be a lot of fun. I would love to see Decker talk about the 80s one. With the singing witches.
I'm thinking, I was thinking of that too. I wonder which Decker would hate more, the witches or the ponies. Which would be worse for him?
I think it would be the ponies, but the witches might become really close.
I know.
I'm confusinated.
There are witches in the
My Little Pony movie, yeah.
The 80s My Little Pony movie. I'm trying to remember which year it was. Was it 87?
I don't remember. I think it was definitely around the late 80s for sure.
I remember
we got a question. Where was it? I saw it a second ago. Boris the Blade asks, what video games are you guys currently playing, if any? That's a good if any, because I do remember when I started up this internet personality shit, I did not have any time for video games. It was amazing. But right now, me and my fiance have been playing quite a lot of Borderlands 2. We never really went too far. I never really went to True Vault Hunter mode before, and right now we're level 48 and been going on. And I gotta say, True Vault Hunter mode, a hell of a lot easier than normal mode was. Everything else, everything's done. It has more hit points, they hit harder, they come out, there's nastier versions of them, there's the rabid stalkers, but I can kill them pretty, normally. The bunker battle took a long-ass time, but we never died, versus the first time I did the bunker battle, which was just a long procession of me dying and coming back, so... I feel like the True Vault Hunter mode a hell of a lot easier than normal mode. It's not like that with Diablo 2, for instance. When you play through the first mode, and then you go on to Hell and Nightmare difficulties, as it progresses, it gets harder. Things get tougher, and it gets harder. You have all that loot, you have all those skills, but you damn sure better use them right. True Vault Hunter mode versus normal mode. Normal mode, I was naked and had no skills. Everything was killing the shit out of me.
So it was a normal day for you.
Naked with no skill.
Yeah, naked with no skills. Well, real quick, Brian Finlay dropped 5 pounds and says, does Cannonball Run 1 and 2 count as Jackie Chan films?
I'm not sure, but it does count as films that I can at least look at. Haha.
Maybe that should be our next episode of Live and Wire, episode 41, Naked and No Skills.
Naked with no skills.
Running around naked with no skills.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alprazolam 1MGS says, what character do you play? I love Gage. My fiance is playing Maya while I am running around as Craig, the psycho.
So what game are you playing recently, Creepy?
Let's see. I bought Persona 5 a while back with, like, Decker sent me a Christmas present, sent me some money to get, it was EDF for Christmas last year. And I had some left over, and it just kind of sat in my wallet for a while on PS4. But then I noticed that Persona 5 was available for PS4, and it was on sale. So I was like, I can buy this.
That's a real nice one. My fiance, she's played a lot of Persona 5. I haven't actually touched it, but I'm just looking at it. It's a game where just the menus are so extra.
Yeah. Although the animation, the artwork for it is amazing, and I love the music. Although Persona is a franchise that typically does have very catchy songs to it. So, and I find myself, like, it's one of those games where one of the major songs is something that I find myself humming or singing to myself, even though I have no reason to. I'm a shapeshifter. Hiding both face and mask. And I'm just like, and then I would just sort of stop, and I was like, why am I singing that? This is
Hood Circle 69 is asking, does anyone remember that old animated Jackie Chan TV show? And I'm thinking, old?
Yeah, you're talking about the Jackie Chan Adventures.
Yes, and I do remember that. I actually did not watch that while it was airing on television. In fact, I didn't even know that it had 5 whole seasons worth of footage.
5 seasons?
It ran for 5 seasons. Yeah, I did not know that. I thought it had like 2 tops, and then I think it started airing on, was it Cartoon Network?
Yeah, it did started airing on Cartoon Network, because that was kind of like when Kids WB was like petering out, and most of the shows were picked up by Cartoon Network.
Right, and they started showing reruns of it on Cartoon Network, and I watched some of it there. I think I watched seasons 1, 2, and 3, and then I didn't see any more of that. But then, like, a few years later, someone had posted episodes of it up on YouTube, and I watched, and I was able to watch seasons 4 and 5, and I was like, okay, well, that's done. What's next?
Okay, over on Mixer, Hypebot says that DJ D&B is now following, and they also asked a question, or made a comment. They said that I should review Candyman in the future, and yeah, that definitely, yes, the whole series of that, definitely. I was like, something, just for some reason, just a big gaping hole in my review history. There's just no Candyman. Not even real references talking about Candy. It's just...
I know, I mean, like, it seems like you, of all people, would have reviewed Candyman, but then again, I say the same thing about you and Children of the Corn.
In the chat before we started, there was one guy saying, I think Deckard reviewed Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because that makes sense! But no, I didn't!
Nope.
Derek Doddle asks, is that girl from Old School Lane? And yes, hi, how you doing? It's me, Patricia. We have
Did you break your camera again?
I guess I did. I'll have to fix it. I probably would have had a chance to see what was wrong with it if you would have given me the link the earlier time. Oh, well. We have
but in terms of it, also on the topic of breaking things related to Live and Wired, Dobby broke my mug again. Got a picture on my Instagram of the 2 broken mugs, and also a picture of Dobby, which I caught him mid-grooming, and he's making a silly face, and I'm really happy with that picture.
I'm like, Dobby hates mugs, apparently, or just mugs that you drink out of.
Dobby just loves knocking all kinds of shit off the tables. If I leave this on the table, on the mouse pad, he'll just go up there, he'll just knock this down, he's knocked the battery compartment off of it how many times, and surprised the thing still works. He just, everything on the table, it has to go on the floor. That's where it goes in his mind.
Yeah, pretty much. We have a $5 comment from DJ Hatbox who asks, did any of you ever get into the non-superhero comic series, i.e. Transformers Generation 1? P.S. Thanks for always being awesome from a first 1K subscriber.
Oh, congratulations on 1K subscribers.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
See, I can say that there was one manga that I was really, like... I didn't do comics, really, but then something that I really like came out in manga form, and it was even more disappointing to me in manga form because when it was just an anime and I watched it, I was like, this is really nice, and then it stops, and then I didn't. My young American brain couldn't quite piece that together. It's like, what, 25 episodes and that's it? Like, it's great. It just stops. That what else? Huh? And so there's a manga series that kind of is expanding on it and the thing, and within the timeline, but different stories. I'm like, cool, I like this. And that got like, what, 8 or 12 issues? It just stops. That just got canceled. That just got straight up like, no, it's not doing well in Japan, so fuck it. So, like, damn it! As Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, Cowboy Bebop.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to read a $2 comment from Omega Gaming.
Go ahead.
Decker, I sent you a tweet. Please look at it.
Okay, let me go over to my Twitter-nator. I got that over here on my Surface, because I have multiple computers. Okay, on my notifications, it just says going live in 25, episode 40 of Live and Wired.
Over me.
All right, Creepy, now you can go ahead.
I'm just like, you can't even check something on your Surface quietly. He has to narrate himself. It's like I have actually heard Decker narrating in his sleep.
You know that board game, Don't Wake Daddy? It's like, we should have like a laptop equivalent. It's like you need to double check something online and you need to do it quietly right before, you get found out and you have to go back into your room because you would have like computer limitations.
Yeah. Decker.
I'm going to send this to Patricia.
Episode 42 of Live and Wired, Don't Wake Decker. All right.
For me, I read a lot of Spider-Man in high school, and a comic book that it wasn't a superhero comic. It was a superhero comic, but Supergirl, the 90s Supergirl, was one I really loved. As far as non-superhero stuff goes, I think the two manga that stood out that I collected as much as I could of it, and that I really enjoyed were one of them was called Psychic Academy. It was not terribly popular, but I really enjoyed it. And another one was something called the Kendaichi Case Files, a teen detective series that I thought was decently written. I did enjoy, and I mean, I'm a huge mystery buff, so I did enjoy reading that.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. Yeah. Let's see what the tweet from Omega Gaming, let's see what that says.
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna click on that. Here we go. Okay, from Omega Gaming, Decker Shadow, you look so sad, friend. You look like someone stole your birthday cookie and ate it in front of you. Aw, how sweet.
Aww.
See, I know how that feels, so I know it's true.
Very true, very true. Thank you for that, Omega Gaming. Really appreciate it. I guess it's my turn now. If non-superhero comic series. No, I can't really think of any on the top of my head. I wasn't really like encouraged to read like comic books as a kid because my mom thought that stuff was for boys, and so I didn't really like. I mean, I watched a lot of superhero stuff, but I didn't really like read any comics until I was like much older, and then I started getting into manga. So, yeah. As for like non-superhero comic series, I mean, there's like a lot of manga that didn't have any like superheroes in it that I really enjoy. More slice of life and drama than anything, but not that I can really think of on the top of my head. But yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I think that we're almost at the 25-minute mark. I think we should start talking about some news.
Yeah, especially now that you're here.
Yeah, I know, right? Thanks, Decker.
It did not. Okay, kind of is my fault. Just a little.
Anyway.
All right, so yeah, let's go into some TV stuff because that's what the episode of Live and Wired is about. That everything is going on to TV now.
So... Oh god, Darth Necrosis says, no, that would be the face when he heard they are making another Predator movie. No, we know that face.
Yes, it's going to be more rage than anything. So... All right, so let me just see which one I can pull up first. I got one. So let's take a look at this one first. So let's take a look at the updated news regarding about something we talked about a while ago. So Shudder, which is the horror movie series equivalent of Netflix, they are going to be doing a series based off of Creepshow. We had already discussed about this in Live and Wired, but apparently this information on what the episodes are going to be about has already been revealed. So I'll read this off first. Shudder has released details for every episode of their upcoming Creepshow anthology series, which is executive produced by FX legend Greg Nicotero. The titles, writers, directors, and synopsis for every episode can be found here. Additionally, new cast members have been revealed with Kid Cudi, DJ Qualls, Big Boy, Jeffrey Combs, and Bruce Davison all joining the series. The series will have 6 episodes, which strongly suggests that there will be 2 stories per episode, although you never know what surprises Shudder may have up their sleeves. So the first one is called All Hallows Eve, and it was written by Bruce Jones and directed by John Harrison. Even when they're a little too old, this group of friends still want to trick or treat, but getting candy isn't all they're looking for. Ooh. Derek Detali says, Old Schooling is responsible for turning this 35-year-old long-haired metalhead into a fan of my As Told by Ginger. Wow, thank you. I'm really honored. I really do appreciate it. Like, to be quite honest, when I did my videos on As Told by Ginger, I thought I was just basically doing it for me because nobody else knew about this show, but apparently a lot of people started getting into it because of my videos and podcasts. So thank you. I really do appreciate it. I'm even surprised that anybody even watches my stuff. So again, thanks.
That's awesome.
Okay, second episode, Bad Wolf Down, written by Rob Schraub and directed by Rob Schraub. Or Schraub. I don't know. A group of American soldiers trapped behind enemy lines during World War II finds an unconventional way to even the odds. Episode 3, by Silver Water of Lake Champlain. Story by Joe Hill. We already know who Joe Hill is. He is the son of Stephen King. Adapted by Jason Ciaramella and directed by Tom Savini. Her dad died looking for the monster living at the bottom of Lake Champlain. And now, will she? Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
Okay.
What was that sound?
That was me. I was just doing dun dun dun.
No, in the background.
That's Tara meowing.
Oh, she was joining us. That was sweet.
She was giving her own 2 cents about the episode synopsis. Okay.
That's very queen.
Dylan Jenkins 30 on Twitch is asking, "Hey Decker, are you going to do the Summer of Keanu Reeves?"
Ooh.
That sounds breathtaking, but I'm not sure how. I got so many summers to do. Jeez.
One summer at a time. Rob Blankenship asks, was Ginger basically Pepper Ann? There are some differences between As Told by Ginger and Pepper Ann. Pepper Ann, even though it did come out first, and it does have some similarities between the two, there are some differences. Like, Pepper Ann is a lot more episodic, and Pepper Ann has, I believe, 2 episodes as opposed to, 1 episode. And there are some things that in Pepper Ann are not as fleshed out, which makes a lot of sense because it was a late 90s slice of life cartoon, with As Told by Ginger was more in 2000, and they were able to break some new ground with that. But yeah, I've been actually getting a lot of requests for me to cover Pepper Ann, and maybe I will in the future. Let's see. Next episode, The Companion, story by Joe R. Lansdale, Casey Lansdale, and Keith Lansdale, adapted by Matt Venn, directed by Dave Bruckner from The Ritual. A young boy bullied by his older brother sneaks into an abandoned farm that is protected by a supernatural force. Let's see. The Finger, written by David J. Show from The Crow, and directed by Greg Nicotero. An unhappy man discovers a severed inhuman appendage on the street and brings it home, where it grows into a loyal companion.
Why would you do that? That just brings it home. Oh.
I found a finger. I'm gonna
inhuman.
bring it home with me. Yeah, I'm gonna find. Yeah,
here's a body part of some kind of creature that goes in the collection.
I found an inhuman finger, and I'm gonna hug it and love it and squeeze it and take care of it, and I'm gonna name it George, and I'm gonna make sure it gets lots of love. Okay, now I'm done. Okay, next episode. Gray Matter, story by Stephen King, adapted by Byron Willinger and Philip de Blasi, directed by Greg Nicotero. Doc and Chief, two old-timers in a small dying town, brave a storm to check on Richie, an alcoholic father, after encountering his terrified son at the local convenience store. The story, first published in 1973, is part of Stephen King's best-selling 1978 collection, Night Shift. Well, I mean, the whole synopsis sounds definitely like a Stephen King story.
I mean,
small dying town, alcoholic father, son who's petrified.
Is it in Maine? Is it in Maine? It takes place in Maine, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's going to take place in Maine.
The story's set in Maine. Of course, there's nowhere else to live. Of course, I'm one to criticize that, considering most of my stories nowadays take place in Mississippi. So.
Yeah, but at least they don't follow the same themes.
True.
Okay, next episode, The House of the Head, written by Josh Mallerman.
Iron Baron saying, if you found I Spit in Your Grave disturbing, try reviewing Cannibal Holocaust. But if the YouTube algorithm and what it recommends of what I make and what it likes and monetizes is anything to go by, Cannibal Holocaust is going to be where I go viral and become a mega superstar. Mm-hmm. It loved I Spit in Your Grave. Those are the best performing videos on the channel. It never had any issues with copyright or any kind of thing saying it's not suitable for advertisers. They're just up there. Meantime, Summer of Jackie Chan, I'm just struggling to get this thing moving. And Glass is still blocked.
I watched the disclaimer and I was laughing all the way through it, and then I immediately hit pause right before the review started because I had already been forewarned. Like before, Decker was like, "I've never heard of these movies. Someone wants me to review something, the remake of I Spit on Your Grave, but I've never seen any of the movies that came before it. I know what I'll do. I'll do a whole month of these movies." Then he watches the first movie and calls me, and he sounds like he's this far away from bursting into tears. We finally found a movie that actually broke Decker. It's like, I kind of don't want Decker to completely melt, but there's another sadistic side of me that kind of wants to see where this goes.
There's a little issue where I kind of... when I watch the movies, generally I sit down and I watch them. It's like, it's movie night. I'm there with my fiancé. Really didn't work out very well, and I Spit on Your Grave.
No. God! Okay, we have another episode. This one's called House of the Head, written by Josh Mallerman from Bird Box, and directed by John Harrison from, John Harrison. I don't know which way he's from.
Over on Twitch, Chaotic Bunny says, that's why I love creepy being around.
Yeah, he's the one that holds us together. He saves us all. In this episode, Evie discovers her new dollhouse might be haunted. Let's see. Next one is...
So, Ron Blankenship asks, where did Decker find the dolls? It's a funny story about that. The short answer is Walmart. But it's just a small Walmart. Things are in weird places. So I'm going around the toy section, and I'm looking. There's people just walking, getting kids bringing toys and getting there and stuff. And I'm looking, and I'm having a hard time finding what I'm looking for. And so a Walmart assistant came over to help. They were like, hey, sir, you seem to be here for a bit. Is there anything particular you're interested in? And I was like, actually, yes. You see... I got this little movie review I'm doing. I'm a YouTuber. It's real fun. It's over 100,000 subscribers. Yeah, it's lovely. I'm going to get that silver play button, I swear. But you see, I got this little review of I Spit in Your Grave going on. I can't really show it because it got some really horrible stuff. It involves a lady and many men. I need some dolls to reenact that. And they're like, well, I hope you find what you're looking for. And they leave.
You see, you could have avoided all of this by just saying... Yeah, I need to buy some dolls for someone, just I'm getting them presents so I could use
This is help. Me we're talking about, creepy.
Yeah, that's true. Why would you not make things overly complicated and unnecessarily honest?
Okay.
I'm just trying to imagine the story that this person went home. It's like, and I'm just wondering, like, did they lay awake at night imagining you doing this and are like bored between a desire to go looking on YouTube for this now or to never ever go near a computer again?
Oh boy.
Yeah. All right, next episode. Lydia Lane's Better Half, story by John Harrison and Greg Nicotero, adapted by John Harrison, directed by Roxanne Benjamin from Body at Brighton Rock. A powerful woman denies a promotion to her protege and lover, but fails to anticipate the fallout. That'll go well. The Man in the Suitcase, written by Christopher Buehlman and directed by Dave Bruckner from The Ritual. A college student brings the wrong bag home from the airport only to find a pretzeled man trapped inside, afflicted by a strange condition that turns his pain into gold. Damn. Night of the Paw, written by John Esposito, directed by John Harrison. A lonely mortician finds company in the ultimate be careful what you wish for story, because we gotta have one of those. Skin Crawlers, written by Paul Dini and Stephen Langford, and directed by Roxanne Benjamin. A man considers a miraculous new treatment for weight loss that turns out to have unexpected complications. And finally, last but not least, we have Times is Tougher in Muskie Holler, written by John Skip and Dory Miller, based off of their short story, and directed by John Harrison. Leaders who control a town through fear and intimidation get a taste of their own medicine. So there you have it. Those are all 12 episodes of the Creepshow series' synopsis, and we don't know when it's going to be coming out, but you will get a clear indication on what it's going to be about. So there you go.
Steph Slight is asking, so what did you learn from that experience, Decker? There are many benefits to online shopping.
Mm-hmm. Jane Fernsten asks, is it Batman Paul Dini? I think it is. I think it is Paul Dini from Batman. And Matt Callow says, have you ever seen Freddy's Nightmares? I believe that you guys did do a video on Freddy's Nightmares a while ago, right?
Right.
Creepy
it was back in 2012. I did the review. Decker guest starred in it. We covered the more Freddy-centric episodes of it.
I think that was very shortly after I first got Tara.
Yeah. That was like, we did the crossover review where we were together on camera for the first time in, I want to say it was August, late August, and then and that happened in October.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been like around Creepyween, right?
Right.
Okay. All right, well, I think we should go over to our next TV show that's going to be adapted. It's Creepy's turn this time because he has been talking about it for a while. I mean, he's even used to do videos based off of it right before, some unfortunate things happened. But nonetheless, we have Scream Resurrection. They'll be coming back in a couple of weeks, apparently, because this article is very late. So, yeah, here you go, Creepy. You're next.
It'll be out 2 days.
Yeah, it'll be out in 4 days. 2 days. 2 days. Yeah,
42 days.
We're relevant.
Get back to us when you know for absolute certain. In the works for 3.5 years, the retooled Season 3 of Scream is finally going to air on VH1 instead of its original home on MTV. THR breaks the news. The 6-episode season of 6 episodes. Are we suddenly British? The 6-episode season of Scream Resurrection will debut Monday, July 8th, and run for 2 hours per night, starting at 9 p.m. So it's not going to be on the air for all that long, really. It's more like a mini-series. And run through Wednesday, July 10th. That's 6 hours of Ghostface goodness in 1 week.
So that's 3 episodes.
Yeah. There's even bigger news that accompanies the teaser. New in Season 3 is the actual Ghostface mask. Yeah, okay, I'm just going to hit pause right here and point out that if the biggest news about your series is that they finally have the actual mask instead of, bad knockoff of two different, horror movie masks for 2 seasons straight, then you've already made a huge fuck up. Anyway. Which MTV Scream had previously been unable to use. Did they ever explain why that was?
Maybe they didn't have the rights?
Well, it's just the ghost face mask itself wasn't... It didn't really originate in the Scream movie.
No, it didn't. Maybe they purchased the rights. I don't know.
Possibly.
It was based off of an Edward Munch
painting
called The Scream.
Yeah, I know.
It was, and I mean, like, they somehow got the license to make a Scream TV series, but they didn't get the license to use the mask?
Yeah, that's confusing.
Yeah.
I mean, Freddy's Nightmares didn't have Freddy in the stories, but they had Freddy narrating it. So...
Yeah, that's like the equivalent of, hey, we have a Friday the 13th, TV series, but we don't have the mask or the machete.
Well, they didn't, actually. They had the Friday the 13th series, and it was like Freddy's Nightmares, except did they even have Jason at all in it?
Okay, I rest my... Okay, fine. You got me.
Yeah. I mean, like, I tried watching... I managed to get through the first season, and oh, man, it was terrible. I didn't even go back to watch season 2. And you all have seen some of the truly terrible TV shows I've watched, so...
Yes.
Android 21 Lola says, y'all be careful just to show that video screenshot. This video could get taken down. Having that mask right there.
Yeah. Well, we're just going to assume it's like melted marshmallows.
Uh-huh.
That way, they won't even know.
Sad marshmallows.
Very sad marshmallow.
John Ratsey says, if I want to watch a good Scream show, I'll ask Decker, Creepy, and Patricia to make it with people they can trust to make the show. Oh, thank you.
And over on Mixer, DJ D&B is asking, did you guys get a chance to watch the Stranger Things Season 3? Thoughts? They loved it.
I have not finished watching Stranger Things 3. I have started watching Stranger Things 3. I got to episode 5, and I had to stop last night, and I haven't gone back to it yet. But I am going to. I haven't had the time to today.
I generally don't watch TV, so I'm just like, yeah, that's nice. It exists. Okay. I wasn't clamoring at the bit to watch it, but I have been hearing very good things from everyone who has seen it, so that is a plus.
Decker, it's not a TV show. It's a Netflix show.
Same thing.
Not really.
Kind of. I mean, same basic principle in how it's put together in an episodic situation.
Sure.
It's just people binge on Netflix because it's, possible. You don't have to wait a week to see the next parts. It kind of messes up the binge.
Jake, for instance, said, Creepy get through Supernatural yet? Not all of it. I got up to, I think it was almost somewhere in season 7, and then I put it aside again.
Dylan Jenkins 30 on Twitch is asking, Decker, what is your favorite video game on the PlayStation 4? And I'd say probably EDF 5. We'll have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. Anyway, getting back to the article. Sorry, Patricia.
No, please, go ahead.
Okay. Had been unable to use... Roger Jackson, who voiced the killer in the Scream feature film franchise, will reprise that role for the VH1 take. Okay, that actually is some good news, because he is amazing as that character. This marks the first time the original Ghostface mask will be used on television. You already said that. Season 3 centers on Dion, help! Name?
I think it's Dion.
Dion, okay. I have never seen Dion spelled that way before, and I've seen it spelled a couple of ways, but not that one. Okay.
Your guess is as good as mine.
A local football star running back whose tragic past comes back to haunt him.
Dun, dun, dun.
So often happens in horror movies. If you have a tragic past, you are going to die from it.
Man.
And threaten his hard-earned plans for the future and the lives of his unlikely group of friends. Why is it in these movies, are the group of friends always unlikely? Like, what about that makes them unlikely?
Wow, I expected that no one would like you.
The cast also includes Mary J. Blige, K.K. Palmer, Tyler Posey, Tyga, Georgia.
Wiggum.
Georgia. Okay. Georgia Wiggum, Susan, Jessica Sula, C.J. Wallace, and Gillian Yao Jiulu. with an appearance by Paris Jackson.
Oh, that's nice.
So
Yeah,
the article basically managed to tell us that, yeah, there's going to be this thing, but so far it hasn't really said anything about it.
I guess they don't tend to like spoil everything because hey, we're gonna get the first episode in like 2 days from now, so it's like, oh, let's not spoil anything just yet.
Mm-hmm. I'm just like, okay, so your two biggest pieces of news is that the person who played the person who voiced the villain in the first film is going to be returning for the show, which, okay, I will admit that's actually pretty good news. But your second biggest piece of news is that you actually have the mask now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I don't think that's something you should have to brag about in a news article. I feel like that should be something that's a given. That's like saying, we actually have the makeup and finger knives and knives glove for Freddy Krueger now, instead of just, England, being in front of a camera, as, a random dude.
Sure.
Yeah. I just, sorry, I'm just, I was so disappointed by the first season, and now I'm just like, I just can't imagine season 3 being good. I really can't.
Yeah, well, I mean, who knows? Maybe it's a case in which, seasons 2 and 3 will be better, or maybe they get worse. I mean, you never know. TV shows are very fickle. That sometimes their worst seasons are in the early run.
I look at like. One thing that kind of bugged me about season 1 is that I get that they were trying to recapture the complexity of Sydney Prescott by making a female protagonist for the series that was, Sydney had that down to earth quality, but she was far from the innocent flower, or like she didn't actually, when you think about it, she didn't have a lot of final girl traits, and like, but at the same time there was just so much about the character in the first season that just didn't feel sincere, like up to the point where I kind of had to wonder, was she actually the killer or not?
Mm-hmm. Jane Fernsten asks, next up, Scream the Musical. Don't wish on it because it'll happen.
Oh boy. Albert Wesker asks, Dagger Shadow, would you ever consider reviewing any movies based on or loosely based on H.P. Lovecraft's work? And I'm thinking like, okay, Summer of Steven Seagal almost drove me insane. And you're thinking of maybe going diving into some Lovecraft? I mean, there was what was it? Hellraiser Deader was kind of Lovecraftian in a lot of themes. A lot of the further Hellraiser movies where they were just like, take a film that they're working on, sounds kind of like a nice story in its own right, but it's never going to get made on its own. But we need to keep this trademark for Hellraiser going, so slap Pinhead on there, put it out. Woo! We got a new Hellraiser movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For sure. Oh, speaking of Hellraiser, I guess this will be our next topic because...
Slap Hellraiser on it, we got a new TV show.
There we go, yes. Next one we're going to be talking about is the Hellraiser TV series. And apparently they are able to get those distribution rights all fixed up, so... Alright, this one's yours, Decker, so here you go.
It has to be Decker's.
Producer Roy Lee and Ready Player One producer Dan Farah have positioned themselves to bring to the small screen for the first time Hellraiser, the iconic horror franchise anchored by the malevolent, straight-out-of-hell villain Pinhead. Those producers have joined forces with producer rights holders Lawrence Kuppen, David Salzman, and Eric Gardner, who have controlled these TV rights since New World was sold in 1989. The intention to use the mythology established the movie franchises and the Clive Barker novella, The Hellbound Heart, as a launchpad for a new series that could be anthology or a more traditional narrative. The producers are underway with a search for a writer-showrunner before setting it to at a network streamer at a time when horror is performing strongly. So they're still not quite sure what they're doing with it, but it's Hellraiser, guys, trust us.
Yeah.
The first movie told the story of a man who inadvertently opens a portal to hell when he tinkers with a strange puzzle box he bought during a trip abroad. Now, the intention was there. He knew what he was doing. He just didn't realize it was going to be as bad as it ended up being.
He thought he was going to be summoning a bunch of naked, sexy, pinup girls.
It's like the ultimate pleasure. Fuck yeah! Okay, This is weird. Oh, the pleasure of skinning myself alive and staying that way. Oh, I don't like this.
Yeah, this is not what I ordered. Take it back. Take it back.
How could you give me my pizza?
And the real drink? Horror of the Hellraiser series is when you find out the Cenobites don't have a return policy. That's the horror. The act unleashes gruesome beings called Cenobites, creatures from hell. The scariest is Pinhead, who became the disturbing face of Hellraiser. The franchise has spawned 10 films, a book anthology, comic books, apparel, Halloween costumes, DVDs, and a myriad globally licensed products. The first film was featured in Bravo's 100 Scariest Movie Moments, and is perennially cited as one of the scariest movies of all time. The feature rights are separately controlled by Spyglass, which isn't part of this configuration. Yay! So we still don't know if we have all the rights together, but don't know exactly what it's going to be. Maybe it's anthology, maybe it's going to be a little thing, Monster of the Day. Who knows? We'll just have Hellraiser on that.
Yeah, as long as Pinhead is in somewhere, you'll know it's going to make money. Put Pinhead in a crazy talk show. Put Pinhead in a cooking channel.
I would love if Pinhead had his own late show and he would just kind of interview people and then in the middle of the interview just start torturing them.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Actually,
just come out every single night, address the audience like, we have such sights to show you.
Actually, I'm surprised that the Hellraiser franchise hasn't done like shock website theme. Where instead of, they tried to do this with video games, but they've never done like an evil Hellraiser website, where people are logging on to post forbidden pleasures or forbidden desires that they feel like they can't tell people about or anything like that. And then
that makes a lot more sense than we got this video game based on Hellraiser.
Yeah, or like the space or the space station that's shaped like the Lament configuration. Yeah, is like a website where people are like posting things that they feel like anonymously, kind of like basically 4chan. People are posting things that they feel like they can't get away with saying in real life, and that posting them online allows them anonymity. But then explore the dangers of cyberbullying, or how the internet doesn't give you full, anonymity, and so forth, and the hazards of saying things that you can't take back. This would actually make for an interesting psychological theme for Hellraiser.
Kevin Burdine is asking, Decker or Creepy or Patricia, would you block someone for not agreeing on a movie with you, even though they agreed with you on every past review you did? If I did that, I'd have no subscribers.
The only time in which I blocked someone was that one person who threatened to kill me because they didn't agree with something I discussed about.
Yeah, that's a bit more than just because they disagreed. It's because it went to an area that it should absolutely never. There are a few parts where it's like, it's the Otaro's policy on that. I kind of understand.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think I've ever blocked. I don't think I've ever blocked or banned anyone before, as far as just disagreeing with me. Even people who were really insulting me about it really insulting, because I've had plenty of people say this is stupid, like you don't, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, by the way, don't take this personally, just constructive criticism. Like throwing random insults, I've never even blocked people like that. I think the only time, I can't remember even what it was. It may have just been, it wasn't even like the worst thing I'd ever heard. I think just that day was just a really bad day for me. And then I got onto YouTube, saw I had a comment, and it was from someone just saying nasty stuff to me. And I was just like, you know what? I don't need this right now. I didn't post any rebuttal or any comment or anything like that. I didn't say anything mean back to them. I was just like, yeah, you know what? Just boom,
so if
gone.
people are just being just generally, if someone just pops up in the comments and they're just generally being a jerk, it usually doesn't bother me too much. It's like, I'll post a review and like someone will respond something like, screw you, you don't have any idea what you're talking about. Your hair is shit, your teeth are terrible, your nose is crooked, and you're a fuck nugget, now go off and die. That just tells me that they didn't agree with what I said about the movie, but they couldn't point out anything that I said that was incorrect. Which I do say incorrect shit sometimes, and people do point that out. And fuck! But
yeah.
But if it's a situation like that where they just don't like my opinion on a film, but they can't point out anything I said about it that isn't true, they'll just attack me, and I'm like, well, oh well.
Yeah. Like, I've had more people come after me just because Decker and I did a crossover. Like, how dare I be alive or anything? And I've had some time to think about this. I don't know if this is really the best place to point this out, but like, from what I've, and this is from just observing this for several years now, but it's just, what it comes down to is that it seems almost like, nobody can really think of a reason why they hate me. And so it just almost seems like I am where I am and they are where they are, and they can't really do anything to change that. Because I've noticed a lot of people have made statements, a lot of these same people who post like hateful stuff, to me specifically, whenever I've done a crossover with Decker, have also expressed a really, really like fanatic desire to do the same thing, like to be in a crossover with Decker. And the fact that I'm doing this and they're not is like just something that infuriates them to the point where they're like, I hate you so much.
Once they actually would get in that crossover, they'd find out that I just kind of kicked back and let them write the whole damn thing. They'd probably change their mind, but
yeah. It's like, wait a minute, I've never written this before. I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, okay, so we're watching this movie? Uh-huh. Have you paid attention to it? Uh-huh. Okay. 15 minutes later, I have 3 pages worth of script. Okay, fine, let's go through with it. I don't like this. I don't like this. Let's change this. This is not as funny. And I'm just like, you do realize that I just wrote all of this for you, right?
It's kind of the summer of Jackie Chan. As you might remember on an earlier episode of Live and Wired, Creepy did announce that we had been planning, and which he had been planning on this summer possibly being, well, not possibly, but being, summer of Marvel superheroes. But I've just been like in such a just crazy area, and just one of the things I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to dig myself out of this. I know I'm gonna be putting everything on Creepy. So Jackie Chan, me. Do it. And then YouTube's like, yeah, I'm gonna block that actually. It's gonna be late anyway. But other than that, I think I've been doing okay for the first couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I've had my and for somebody was actually messaging me saying like, oh, how dare you not like other people's opinions, you're gonna block them for that. I didn't say that. I said that they threatened my life because I said something that I stated that they didn't agree on. I don't mind if a person has a different opinion on something. Trust me, I've seen tons of different opinions based off of something I either really like or I really don't like, and I don't mind that. But you get to that fine line in which like they threaten to hurt you or to kill you because they think that you're wrong and everything that they state is like the correct answer, and that you should change your mind and change your mind into saying that this is good. Otherwise, you're going to be sorry for what you said. That's when I push it a little bit too far and saying like, yeah, you're going to have to go. And I've only did that once. So
right. I mean, like if someone just doesn't agree with what I said, but they're respectful about it, I have no problem with that. I mean, like, sure, like, hey, you found something good to like about this episode. For me, it wasn't really that great. But you know what? You didn't insult me. You didn't wish I was dead. And, you haven't threatened to hunt me down and find my address or something like that. So I'm like, that's fine. It's like, hey, you liked this episode. There was something about it that appealed to you. Great. Mm-hmm. It wasn't terrible for everyone. That's actually a good thing.
Yeah, I remember like a video I saw a while back where Maddox had a video explaining, or I don't know if the entire video was that, or if it was just an aside in one of the other videos he had, but he kind of talked a lot of shit about cheesesteaks, which is like my favorite part of the food pyramid. And he, in his little aside there, made his case, and I couldn't fault him for it. He doesn't like cheesesteaks. It's like, people tell me I've just had the wrong ones. How can I possibly just have the wrong one? It's literally bread, meat, and cheese. It's a very simple little thing, and they're all just piles of grease and terrible. And I'm thinking, yeah, the pile of grease part's kind of the intention. If you don't like that, you don't like that. Cheesesteaks is what's going to keep me going for at least a couple of weeks until I suffer cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
Also, for the record, I mean, I'm sorry, Patricia.
I was going to say that, I actually like having like mushrooms, peppers, and onions on my cheesesteak, but that's just me.
I'm not real big on mushrooms, but, the rest sounds okay.
Yeah. I'm not the biggest mushroom fan on cheesesteaks, but usually that's because when I've had them, they've been on cheesesteaks that were just put together in very bad ways.
Oh, I see.
Has anyone ever had?
Sorry, I got like one of my mustache hairs just got in my mouth, and that was horrible. But anyway, I prefer mushroom on a cheesesteak to that.
That's fine.
But when I've had mushrooms on cheesesteaks, it's been on cheesesteaks that have been put together by restaurants that have no idea how the fuck to put together a cheesesteak, and it's been with stuff like Swiss cheese or with au jus gravy or lean beef, and it's like, no, what are you doing? This is not a cheesesteak.
Yeah, exactly.
But on a regular cheesesteak, I could see it working fine.
Sure.
I was thinking of actually making a little video just because I just said fuck it because I couldn't find a decent cheesesteak anywhere near where I live. So I went ahead and got the ingredients to make it myself and made one of the best damn cheesesteaks I've had in my life through doing so. And I'm like, yeah, this is fucking good. I should make a video and share this with the world.
Yeah, you should, absolutely. It's funny because I did a cooking video a very long time ago when I was talking about Clarissa Explains It All, and I was making 3 different dishes based off of tofu. And I was like, I had a lot of fun doing that. I should do that again. I should, prepare something else. And I was thinking that the next time if I actually did do a cooking video, I want to do one based off of the Genghis Khan from Azumanga Daioh because that looks so... The concept of it sounds so delicious. It's basically like... barbecued mutton with a whole bunch of mixed vegetables in a grill, and that sounds absolutely delicious. So I want to actually try that.
Rob Blankenship says, I hate that I can't find one that doesn't look like the meat's been pre-tuned. It's tender and amazing, and you can just like slide it down like
I'm sorry, Creepy. What were you saying about mushrooms?
Has anyone ever had soggy mushrooms before, where they were like soft, but not in that good way? Like they just kind of feel slimy in your mouth.
Yeah. It's better to roast them. Roasting them is actually what brings out their really nice
flavor,
flavor.
Earthiness. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Enough with mushrooms and cheesesteak. I think we should go back to the news stuff.
Oh, I love cheesesteak.
Episode 43, Cheesesteak Madness.
Yes!
I haven't had a good cheesesteak in a long time.
Yeah.
Well, you've got me craving cheesesteaks, Decker. This is your fault.
Okay, I gotta go down there. I gotta make some cheesesteaks. Like, some good cheesesteaks. As long as you like cheesesteaks exactly like I like cheesesteaks. What is your opinion on Cheese Whiz, onions, and green peppers?
No way.
Not actually cheese, you know that, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I know.
Do you want a cheesesteak or not?
Provolone, man. Put provolone in it.
That's for a pizza steak, Miranda.
Pepper jack, which I actually have. Like, there is no reason for you to put cheese whiz in it when I have pepper jack literally in the refrigerator.
There is a reason if you want to make a cheese steak.
Which is?
It's a nice little deli roll with slice, and with the steakums in there, and the cheese whiz, and the sauteed onions and bell peppers.
Like I said, still no on the cheese whiz.
Cheese whiz! Otherwise, it's going to be too dry.
No way. It'll make everything too soggy then.
It's supposed to be soggy and greasy.
You can actually hold the bread without it falling apart.
Like, I literally cooked cheese steaks for people in a restaurant every day for almost a year. You know?
You cooked them wrong!
No, I didn't.
All right. Let's get back to the news right before we get too overwhelmed with just cheesecake and cheese steak and
I will put cheesecake in my cheesesteak.
It actually does sound pretty appetizing. And I'm just gonna read something else. Okay, more into the TV news because that's the name of our episode, and we have to read the last bit of TV news that we hinted at on the poster. So I'm just gonna see if I can find it really quick. So here it is. I found it. Okay, so back into more of the video game topic. So we already talked about that there's going to be a TV series based off of Halo and stuff like that. And, Castlevania's been doing really well on TV, so is Carmen Sandiego. So I guess Sony wanted to get into the market and saying like, hey, guess what? We can make a TV series based off of our properties. Believe us, we can do it. But I'm actually curious about what you guys would think about that Sony announced a live-action Final Fantasy XIV TV series.
Wait, Dr. Zippy McScoots saying motherfucking cheese whiz. And yeah, that's what happens when you put the cheese whiz on that big steak and it gets all soggy and it falls apart in your hands. You got motherfucking cheese whiz hands!
Yes. All right, it's my turn to read this one.
Yes, go for it.
Today, Sony Pictures Television and production company Hive Mind Entertainment, the company behind Netflix's forthcoming adaptation of The Witcher, and going into that popularity as well, and Amazon's The Expanse, announced a partnership with Square Enix to develop a live-action Final Fantasy TV series based off of the online role-playing game Final Fantasy XIV. The live-action series will tell the story of Eorzea, the world where Final Fantasy XIV is set. What the series will focus on is still under wraps, but per a press release, it'll explore the struggle between magic and technology in a quest to bring peace to a land in conflict. It is still in development stage, which means Hollywood means writing, but with more meetings. So there's no word on who will be cast, nor is there any footage to speak of, and there will not be shown for some time. Same goes for what network or streaming service you'll find the show on the premiere date. Given Hollywood's long history of optioning and announcing video game adaptations that never actually come into fruition, there's no guarantee that this will actually happen, but Netflix did distribute Final Fantasy XIV Dad of Light, a live-action show about a father and son bonding over the game in 2017. Also promised are the series' longtime calling cards, Magitech and Beastmen, airships, and chocobos, as well as the live-action debut of Sid. Presumably, they mean Sid Garland from the game, although it could be, another Sid entirely. Final Fantasy has never been shy about introducing new Sids.
Well, yeah.
Early as it may be, the Final Fantasy XIV TV show is a pretty cool idea. Eorzea is a big world of classic Final Fantasy trappings and nods to previous games in the series. It could be great, it could be a disaster. Final Fantasy projects have a habit of being dramatic productions right up until the very end.
So we're looking at The Spirits Within, the TV series.
Oh, no. It's actually funny that they're making a TV series based off of Final Fantasy XIV. So does that mean that Final Fantasy 1.0 is going to be canon into the series, and then the season finale is going to be a huge meteor that just destroys everything, and then Final Fantasy A Realm Reborn will be season 2?
Possibly.
I have a little Twitter poll ready.
Oh, yay!
In this theme of today's episode 40. It's like another number before the 0. It takes like a while to get there, but it's really nice every time we do. Live and Wired poll is: what would make a kick-ass TV show? and on the choices of different horror and game stuff and what have you to just turn into a TV show. Number 1, Maniac Cop. Number 2, The Stuff.
Wow.
Number 3, I Spit on Your Grave. And finally, at number 4, video game, Fortnite. 30 minutes starting now. Twitter at DeckerShadow. And I will be sending the link over to Patricia.
I don't even want it.
Oh crap! I pressed the wrong button. Okay, never mind.
All right, I'll share it to everybody, even though I don't want to.
Yeah, you do.
All right. Okay.
Oh crap! Wrong button again. Dang.
All right, everybody, here you go. Have fun.
Fun.
Yay. Oh boy. All right. What interesting choices, Decker. Just wow. Do you want to get blacklisted from Hollywood?
Probably.
Wow. All right. Let's go over to our next bit of news. So, here's one. This one is actually really interesting. I just found this out yesterday because that was when it was posted online. So we've been talking a lot about attractions and gatherings based off of like real locations that horror movies or such were filmed at, and basically places that were inspired by the film that have been purchased and are now used for like
tourist that's an idea I just had. And I've kind of wanted to make a horror movie just for the sake of making a horror movie because I'd really like to have that under my belt. Like, hey, here's something I did. And I know it'd have to be something super low budget anyway, because I'm broke. But other than that, I don't exactly have movie production money. But it'd be real fun to go back to the place of my birth and make a horror movie just there.
That'd be fun.
Like, in the forests of Vermont, in one of the little mounds. If I can find the one that I was actually, raised in, that'd be fantastic. I don't know if I can, but it'd be something.
I've heard you describe those stories, and fantastic is not the word that springs to mind.
It would be absolutely amazing for a horror setting.
Okay. I'm just like, I don't want to end up in this sort of situation to where you walk into your family home and then start having horrible PTSD flashbacks.
Yeah, for sure. The reason why I brought this up was because of our next article. So we apparently have a couple from Maine.
Not a horror movie about my life, Android 21 Lola. That would be, I think, a little too boring with too many people surviving.
Mm-hmm.
But just sort of like a fantastic story, low-budget horror set in my childhood location.
Okay. All right, so this is what we're going to be talking about. Maine couple buys home that inspired the horror movie The Conjuring, and they plan to open it up for tours.
Huh.
Corey Heinzen of Mexico said he and his wife Jennifer fell in love with the 1736 Rhode Island farmhouse, bumps in the night and all. So go ahead, Creepy.
Alrighty. Sorry. Okay, there we go. A Mexico couple bought the famously haunted Rhode Island farmhouse that inspired the Conjuring movie. And Corey Heinzen says doors started opening by themselves on day one. We had doors opening, footsteps and knocks. Heinzen, 40, said Friday. I had a hard time staying there by myself. I don't have the feeling of anything evil, but it's very busy. You can tell there's a lot of things going on in the house. In the 1970s, the Perrin family with 5 daughters lived in the Harrisville house, which was built in 1736. Whatever lived there with them, they claimed, was playful at first, but then started to become more sinister, more dark. Heinzen said physical attacks, mystery illnesses, That prompted an investigation by Ed and Lorraine Warren, famous Connecticut paranormal investigators whose experiences inspired the 2013 horror movie. I've always been fascinated with the Warrens, Heisen said. It's just like a piece of paranormal history, this house. They hope to fix it up, preserve, and tell its history, and and open it up to visitors and investigators later this year. This whole journey has been both scary, for many reasons other than paranormal, and exciting all at once, Jennifer Heinzen said. I love that we have the opportunity to share the home with others. It's been an unofficial attraction with Norman Sutcliffe. Okay, I'm really glad that I didn't mispronounce that last name. From whom the Heinzens brought the home. Suing Warner Brothers in 2015 because of all the trespassing and curiosity seekers after the movie's release, according to a CBS News story. Okay. Corey Heinzen has been a paranormal investigator for about 10 years, hitting a bucket list of sites, including Penhurst Asylum and Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Because don't those just sound romantic? He said he grew up in Western Maine. Of course he did. Fascinated by... We cannot escape the main triangle. Fascinated in all aspects of the weird, from ghosts to aliens, but never had any experiences until a battlefield study in 2002 while in the Marine Corps. He and other Marines slept overnight in the wide open fields of the Fredericksburg battlefield in Virginia, planning to walk through Civil War military maneuvers by the north and south the next morning.
Lovely.
Seeing what we would have done differently, basically learning from past experiences, he said. At about 2 o'clock in the morning, we heard gunfire and screaming and cannon fire, but nobody saw anything. The next morning, when the tour guide came out, oh yeah, it happens quite often. I love how calm that sounds. Like, I can just imagine this garrison of Marines who are like, by morning have been freaking out or shaking or just like, assuming like have armed themselves with whatever they can. And then the tour guide comes out, they explain why they're looking this way. And he's just like, oh yeah, that happens. Heinzen first saw the infamous Rhode Island farmhouse last summer after joining a friend and paranormal investigator Bill Brock at the Ocean State Paracon. They met Andrea Perrin, who has written a trilogy about her experiences in the house. A few months ago, he saw it for sale in an online forum. We immediately fell in love with it, Heinzen said. 8.5 acres, a river in the back, and a pond. It's so serene down there, never mind the story behind the house. It's a beautiful home. Jennifer honestly was more excited than I was, I think. They closed the sale June 21st. Heinzen, who retired from the military, plans to travel there and stay regularly to oversee an extensive restoration. My first reaction to the whole thing was like, no way, you're going to own the Conjuring house, said Brock of Brunswick. I was just blown away. It's kind of like the new Amityville house. It is, to me, the pinnacle of haunted locations because you have the people who've experienced these things still alive, and they can still talk about it. They can still tell you the stories of what happened there.
All right. Well, let me see if there's anything else. Oh, there's one more.
He plans to spend time there this summer with, well, a few reservations. It makes me a little nervous for my own safety, and it also makes me concerned for his as well, Brock said. We're kind of opening ourselves up to the unknown.
Dun, dun, dun.
Unlike what you normally do when you go looking for ghosts.
Yeah. Darth McCrossa says, love to see Decker, Creepy, and Patricia do a ghost hunt special where viewers get to pick the location.
Huh.
I could understand the appeal of that to some extent, except I'm pretty sure I'd just be there like, it's just the wind.
And then Decker gets possessed again, and I'm just like, oh, for the love of somebody get a Bible Man video on YouTube.
We need to chastise Decker. Yeah, but that should be really interesting. I mean, I personally wouldn't want to purchase a house like that, but, if you're into that, that's perfectly fine. More power to you.
Brandon Kilgore's asking if I have any siblings still in Vermont. I do know I have a lot of blood relatives up there. I'm not certain if my little brother is living up there, or if he's with the rest of my family elsewhere. It's like, Vermont, Pennsylvania, and the Carolinas around where most of them kind of ended up. And I'm just in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, that was our plan all along. We're just spreading across the nation, and soon the world.
Matt TD7 asks, do a horror movie about your trip to Japan.
That was the vlog series, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the part that is trying to stay nice and warm while losing her sanity, trying to get through places on the train. Creepy trying to deal with my ass. Mm-hmm.
Watching Becker have a very slow meltdown in where were we? Nagoya train station.
Yeah, that was fun. That was actually, that was not fun. I remember I was trying to play my 3DS just to stay awake, and I was literally falling asleep as I was playing, and like waking up slightly further in the game. Like, oh.
Yeah. Speaking of Japan, we actually do have a J-horror movie to discuss about. So recently was the Fantasia International Film Festival, which apparently hosts a lot of like J-horror movies to be shown and other movies that are being presented over there. And one of them is actually the latest chapter in the Ringu franchise. Some of you guys may know it as The Ring in America, but we have once again the man behind it, Hideo Nagata. And we are going to have a new movie called Sadako. So, Decker, why don't you read this one?
Okay. Last month, we shared the first wave of wild genre titles that will play at the Fantasia International Film Festival this summer. Now, the second wave has hit, and it's positively thrilling! Boasting festival faves, star-studded stunners, and the latest chapter in the Ringu franchise, Hideo Nakata's Sadako. Here are the highlights. It's Sadako, not Sudoku. That's the one where it's like, damn, where the hell does this one go?
Right.
Long before we had Samara and The Ring, J-horror auteur
yeah.
Hideo Nakata horrified audiences with Sadako and Ringu. It was 20 years ago that his iconic film made its North American premiere at Fantasia, introducing Ringu's dark world of long-haired ghost girls and horrid curses to Western audiences. The following year, Ringu 2 would come to Fantasia. Now, several sequels and 20 years later, Nakata is returning to the franchise and this outstanding festival, bringing Sadako for its opening night. What does that mean for audiences? Per the press release, Sadako cleverly respects all of the elements that made Koji Suzuki's novels so successful, but brings in a host of new elements that will revive J-horror for an all-new generation of terrified moviegoers. And that's not all Fantasia's got in J-horror. Hirotaka Adachi's Stare delivers a tale of mysterious evil so scary it's making its victims' hearts stop and their eyes explode! That's goddamn... Whoa. Like, the people watching it? Because that's going to be, like, a hell of a lawsuit.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say, wow, damn.
For closing night, Hiroyuki Imashi's anime Promare boasts a colorful story of heroic firefighters bringing a trippy dose of science fiction.
I think they meant to say dose.
Bringing a trippy dose of science fiction. Lorcan Finnegan's Vivarium is following up its Cannes debut with a Canadian one. The film stars Imogen Poots and Jesse Eidenberg as a couple eager to settle down in a cozy neighborhood, but terrified to discover they can't leave it. My pension!
Yeah, I think that's they have some other information regarding about like what else is there to come, but I believe there is a trailer out there for you to check out Sadako, and there's some other horror movies that they do talk about, but I think that for the most part we did already talk about some of them in previous episodes of Live and Wired, but yeah, that was the one that I really wanted to give more attention to. So yeah, apparently, from the same guy behind movies such as The Ring and I believe The Grudge, we're going to be having a new J-horror movie to come in. So that's pretty cool.
Android 21 Lola says, why not? We get Ouija, Battleship, Truth or Dare. Why not a horror movie based on Sudoku?
There's also Dark Water that was remade into an English language movie, a Hollywood movie, a few years ago. Although I have heard that the Japan version is naturally
the better one,
superior. Yeah.
As you do.
I loved it, believe it or not. And he normally hates horror movies. Well, okay, he prefers horror movies that are more about suspense and, a slow build-up instead of just splat, gore,
Yeah, J-horror movies are more like that than anything. They're very quiet and they're very suspenseful as opposed to being like blood, gore.
Oh, right. But splat, gore, blood, gore.
They tend to be more about atmosphere, which, admittedly, that is a welcome change of pace.
For sure.
It creates atmosphere when there's just guts everywhere.
Not as subtle, though. Oh, well. But yeah, I mean, that actually does sound pretty interesting. I'm actually curious about, how well that turns out, so... let me see if I can look at anything else. I actually want to read this one because I'm personally like really excited, and I know Creepy will be excited too. So June 30th may be like for some people, it's like the last day before July, but if you're a Sailor Moon fan, that is the birthday of Usagi Tsukino, aka Sailor Moon herself, and usually around that time, that is when Toei usually like reveals information about like any upcoming Sailor Moon projects. And finally, after waiting for almost I believe over 3 years at this point, we are going to get season 4 of Sailor Moon Crystal, which is the manga adaptation of the anime of Sailor Moon. And we're finally going to get Sailor Moon Eternal, which is basically season 4, which covers in the story of the Death Moon Circus. And it'll be coming out in 2020. So let me just read this one. So, let's see. Toei announced at the Usagi Special Birthday Party 2019, which I actually did hear about.
You didn't say that right. You got to say like Usagi Special Birthday Party 2019.
Oh my gosh, Usagi so kawaii desu.
Don't do that.
Yes, and you just couldn't stand me just doing that up and down the streets of Japan. Now he won't let me do it here at my home.
Okay.
We do not talk about that time. Much less the fact that it was happening at 3 a.m.
I actually want to know what the story is about. Please tell.
He wasn't even drunk that time. I think he was going crazy from boredom. Where were we? Were we still in Shinosaku, or
I know we spent a good couple of nights at Shinosaka. But Shinosaka had like that eatery that at least stayed open for a while.
Right, so stayed open until like 2, 3. So yeah, but so maybe it was there, maybe it wasn't. But yeah, like. Oh, and flapping arms. I'm not even sure why those were a thing, but yeah. And I'm just like standing there watching him do this, and I'm like, I know Japan isn't big on people owning firearms, but I am literally waiting for someone to come out and shoot him.
William Lopez says, we're just a bunch of weebs. Oh, trust me, we haven't even gotten close to the biggest like weeaboo merchandise yet. Oh my god, you're going to flip out when you hear about the next article. Okay, but let me just read this one. So Toei announced at the Usagi Special Birthday Party 2019 event, which I actually did hear was pretty cool. They actually brought in the Japanese voice actress for Sailor Moon, who's been doing it for almost 30 years, which is unbelievable. That the previously announced new 2-part anime film project for Sailor Moon will open in Japan in 2020. Toei is streaming a special video for the film project, now titled Bishoujo Senshi Sailor Moon Eternal, or Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon Eternal, the movie. Toei also confirmed that the film's main staff and cast, as well as the new visual, picture below. Originally, manga creator Naoko Takeuchi is credited with the original work and with supervision. Chiaki Kon is returning from the anime's 3rd season to direct the 2 films. Kazuko Tadano, the character designer for the original Sailor Moon, is designing the characters. Kazuyuki Fudeyasu from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the TV anime, all 5 parts, Land of Lustrous Prepara, is penning the scripts, so you know it's going to be insane.
I'm sorry, Scott Yoshihara says, I'm Japanese, and I don't know if I should feel offended or not.
I'm very sorry. I
Sumimasen.
I'm sorry. Justin says, "Is it possible to be an otaku without being a weeb?" Yes, it is. You can actually.
Except I'm the one like buying udon from Amazon, so I'm definitely weeb. It's good. Excuse me. It's you get the udon off of Amazon. It tells you microwave it for 3 minutes, and what you got to do is you got to microwave it for 5 minutes. Don't put the dry stuff in yet. Leave that for later. But after the 5 minutes, then you take a raw egg, crack it open, throw it in there, microwave it 1 more minute, and then you mix it all around, and then you add the dry stuff. Boom, perfect udon.
There you go.
Also, I know where Decker lives, and he lives in a remote location, so getting udon from Amazon is probably the best bet. So,
yeah,
it's a matter of course.
I mean, they got sushi at the Chinese buffet if you want to get sick.
Like I said.
The two-part film project will take place of a 4th season for Sailor Moon Crystal. The films will cover the Dead Moon arc of Takeuchi's original manga. The films were first announced at the same birthday event in 2017. The 3rd Sailor Moon Crystal season, which featured a new staff and focused on the Deathbusters arc, also called the Infinity arc, premiered on April 2016. Crunchyroll, Nico Nico, and Hulu streamed the season. The 3 services and others streamed the first 2 Sailor Moon Crystal seasons overseas as they debuted in Japan. Viz Media licensed all 3 seasons for release in North America. The company released the first seasons on Sailor Moon Crystal on DVD and Blu-ray on August 2016. The 2nd season in February 2017, and the 3rd season in December. So, yeah, I've been waiting for this for a very long time because remember a few years ago that it was you, Creepy, Yama, and myself. We actually did a Sailor Moon podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, I've actually have seen all the episodes of Sailor Moon Crystal.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I actually do want to talk about Crystal when it's over, and I'm actually thinking about maybe like doing one on all the movies, in honor of Eternal. And I'm actually really excited for this because I think that with Crystal it did start off pretty roughly, but I think that as with season 3 it gotten a lot better. And from the looks of the trailer, well, it's more like a teaser trailer because they just showed the art design. It looks really, really good, and this ought to be a really good basically a nice showcase about like the Death Moon Circus arc. Even though it does have its problems, it's actually I'm sure that since it's going to stick closer to the manga, I'm sure that maybe its ideas will be fully realized.
Jay Fernstein says he's still hurting from the Banana Splits film reveal. Bad sushi is nothing in comparison.
Oh yeah, the Banana Splits movie. We talked about that in the last episode of Live and Wired.
That last couple of episodes, because there's just been a little trickle of more news about it. It's kind of like the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, where each episode we get a little more, and a little more, and a little more, and I'm getting more and more terrified the whole time, and then they actually reveal it to the world, and everyone's surprised. I'm like, really?
Wait, that's a thing?
At this point, you're shocked. Now is where we have the surprise.
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy to think that. But yeah, I'm personally really excited for it, and I'll probably be like, I remember when Sailor Moon R, the movie, was like redubbed from Viz Media and was released in theaters, and I was kicking myself because I never had the chance to watch it. I ended up watching Yu-Gi-Oh! The Dark Side of Dimensions because the movie theater was a lot closer. It also came around the same time as One Piece Gold, which I didn't see either, and now I want to definitely have the opportunity to see this movie if it comes out in theaters. I don't care if I have to drive all the way to like maybe Birmingham or maybe Atlanta so I can be able to see it, but I really want to check it out for myself. All right. Now, as mentioned earlier, if you want to see like the dumbest weeb merchandise ever, oh man. Okay, so
hey, I haven't put up any weeb merchandise lately.
Not you, Decker. I was actually referring to Crunchyroll. So Crunchyroll recently released this article regarding about like a new bit of merchandise, and we've talked about weird fragrances and candles in the past. The last the E3 one, we talked about like the body soap and the shampoo and the body spray by Microsoft. If you think that's weird, how about fragrances and body spray that makes you smell like the characters from Inuyasha. No, I'm not joking. Creepy, why don't you read this one?
Does it make you smell like paper and ink?
I guess so. I don't think so, but I'm actually curious how the scents are. So please, Creepy, I want you to read this.
Geeky scent makers Premaniacs are back with a Rumiko Takahashi-inspired line. Fans of Inuyasha
Lizard's reviews are saying putting raw egg in the microwave for a minute. Hello, Salmonella. Not just in the microwave. You get that little bowl of udon. You put the raw egg in the bowl of udon after it's already been microwaved for 5 minutes, and then you put that in the microwave for another minute, and then you mix it all up. It's pretty much all cooked at that point. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah.
Fans of Inuyasha can pick up... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
Fans of Inuyasha can pick up 3 fragrances inspired by the series' protagonists, starting later this summer. Each scent comes in a special bottle and collector's box reminiscent of its respective character. Inuyasha has citrus and herbal scents with a musky finish.
It's just as good as Axe body spray. I'm kidding.
Kagome is a blend of floral, green tea, and bergamot.
Yeah. Jesse Guajardo. If they are actually redubbed the old Sailor Moon series. It's on the Viz Media website. You can watch it for free, or if you have a Hulu account, you can watch it there too. If you're interested. But yeah, they've already gotten to Sailor Stars, believe it or not, the final season that never got dubbed into English. So yeah, have fun with that. What was the attack again, Decker? I mean, Creepy. Sorry. From one of the Star Makers.
For one of the what?
Star Makers. Remember that attack you told me about? What was it, like? Starlight Gentle
Gentle Uterus. That's it. Yeah.
What?
Yes.
I am not making this up. In the final season of Sailor Moon Stars, one of the Starlight Soldiers, Sailor Star Maker, her special attack is Star Gentle Uterus.
Yes.
Which it delivers a money shot of acid to the face.
Oh, yeah, that's just like a gentle uterus. Okay.
All right, and what's the last scent?
Soshomaru's is a blend of warm wood tones and floral ozone.
Floral ozone? I don't know.
The bottles will be available starting August 30th for 5,417, I'm assuming yen. Each. Right. Visitors to the main store in Giza can sample the fragrances starting July 25th.
Yeah. Let me see if this is the website where you can actually purchase it. Or maybe you can make a pre-order or something. So, Premaniacs. Let me see. Yeah, there it is. Premaniacs Inuyasha fragrances. Yep, here they are. And I believe that this is where you can actually make your purchase. So, yeah, there you go. Let's see. Lemon, lime, eucalyptus, jasmine, geranium, muguet, lavender, rosemary, musk, patchouli, velvetier, and amber. So, yeah, these are all the scents that have...
That's my favorite smell there. Musk.
Musk. Hey, at least it's better than, hey, I mean, with musk, I mean, we could also have it, remember the Western themed candle where it smelled like sweat, leather, and an open campfire. So, hey, I mean, there's a lot weirder scents that we could have picked from, but one based off of Inuyasha characters. I mean, that's definitely a new one on me for sure. And I'm sure that this won't be the last, like, weird, fragrant merchandise that we'll be getting. So there you go. All right. Okay, so let's go over to the next one. And I want you to read this one, Decker, because I actually showed you the clip of it. I actually tweeted about this clip of this upcoming video game, and you seemed pretty excited for it.
I did.
Yeah, you remember that you said that you were going to do a co-op with...
this, that. Oh, yeah, just excited.
That
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we have River City Girls, which is apparently like a spiritual successor to the Kunio-kun series, or River City Ransom as we know it in America. So, okay, go ahead.
Arc System Works may be known for fighting games, but that doesn't mean they don't release other kinds of games. For example, the company will be publishing a new take on the River City Ransom license called River City Girls. As you remember, there was not that much fighting in River City Ransom.
Yeah, it was just like walking around, punching people until they said barf,
taking their money.
Taking their money, buy food, level up,
eat the entire plate.
Hopefully.
Developed by Shantae series developer Way Forward, River City Girls stays true to the series' beat-em-up roots, but modernizes the look of the classic franchise, featuring two new protagonists, Kyoko and Misako, who must battle it out on the streets of River City to rescue their boyfriends, Kunio and Riki. RPG mechanics, side quests, shops, co-op, and the ability to recruit enemies should hopefully spice things up. River City Girls launches on PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch on September 5th.
And if you're wondering who Kunio and Riki are, it's Alex and Ryan. That's their Japanese names.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, this, just looking at it, it looks like it's yet another kind of side-scrolling beat-em-up that's very strangely riding the coattails of the success of Shaq Fu, of all things.
Well, not only that,
like we've seen,
we had Dragon.
Well, like we've seen with the Streets of Rage, which Streets of Rage 4. Suddenly, it has a drawn art style that's not exactly that much like Streets of Rage, but very much like Shaq Fu. And there's the new Battletoads coming that has a cartoony art style that doesn't really match quite so well with the more comic-y art style of the old Battletoads, but it does match very well with Shaq Fu. Whereas River City Girls, it's not all the way towards the Shaq Fu art style. It's a little more pixel art than that.
Well, it is Way Forward.
So it's Way Forward, but it's got very good animation, and that art style matches very well with River City Ransom and how that looked on the NES. And it looks like, hey, you like River City Ransom? I personally think the game aged very well. Here's that kind of thing again, and we're mixing it up, and we're having really nice animations with it, with a nice presentation. It's kind of still riding the coattails of Shaq Fu, but it looks like it actually still fits the setting and the game style. So I'm like, I'm looking forward to this. I feel like I could play this with my fiancé, and I believe I shall try.
Yeah. And also, the teaser trailer has this amazing theme song of River City Girls sung by the talented Christina V. And I think that, it does look like it's going to be an awesome game to, continue on the legacy of River City Ransom. Instead of focusing on Kunio and Riki, you have, obviously, their girlfriends and they're saving them. Sort of like if Double Dragon were to have, like, Billy and Jimmy kidnapped, and then Marion would be like the main protagonist, and you get to play as her.
And break some spines. More than just one spine.
Yeah, just more than one, at least maybe two.
As that was a problem in the Double Dragon remake thing. She only broke one spine. She needs to break more spines.
Spider-Boy43 asks, Shaq Fu was successful? Well, remember, there was a Kickstarter of it a few years ago, and we discussed about that. And then the fighting game, the beat-em-up game came out. And there was also DLC where you get to play as Barack Obama. Yes. And apparently, like, I don't know how it was, like, received, but apparently, it was decent enough for that to exist.
It's just very strangely, right after Shaq Fu comes out, suddenly we hear news about Streets of Rage 4, and it's looking like Shaq Fu. And now we've just got news of Battletoads coming out soon, and it looks like Shaq Fu. It's like,
Interesting. I mean, even though that probably it wasn't its intent, but maybe that actually got people to thinking, I think we should have beat 'em up games again, because there was a bit of a resurgence a few years ago with like Castle Crashers and Double Dragon Neon, and saying like, hey, playing with your friends together in one couch is fun. We should bring that back.
It's like beat 'em ups were a huge thing in arcades, and arcade games drove console games for a while, but then when the transition to 3D happened in the PlayStation 1 era, the fighting games, they tried to make them... They didn't want to keep the same kind of gameplay. Well, I mean, I think the idea was try and keep the same gameplay, except they really didn't, because it's like everything has to be 3D. So you got Fighting Force, which was considered a good game at the time, but it didn't age very well, versus like the old Turtles arcade game. You can play that now, and it's just as fun as it ever was. Fighting Force is clunky. Very clunky. It's still fun, but clunky. And that was a problem with a lot of the early 3D attempts at beat-em-ups. And beat-em-ups never really kind of came back after they tried to transition them to 3D, and it just kind of didn't work. Sure. So now it's coming back with, hey, you can make 2D games and make them look really nice, and as long as the gameplay is solid, people will play them. That's a thing now. And it's like, okay, let's actually do that.
Podok was asking, wasn't the villain supposed to be Kanye West? And yes, the final villain in the Barack Obama DLC is Kanye West. Yes!
That guy's a jackass. Okay. The Live and Wired poll has finished up on Twitter.
All right.
So, what would make a kick-ass TV show? There were 75 total votes. Pretty good.
Nice.
Pretty good. Nice. And coming in at only 11%, the lowest one, Fortnite.
Good.
People spend plenty of time watching it right now, but... And at 20%, I Spit on Your Grave. At least it's better than Fortnite. At 23%, The Stuff. Meaning at a whopping 47%, people are very interested in a TV series of Maniac Cop. Yes. We also have some comments. Kevin Burdine's asking, Decker Shadow, please finish The Summer of Arnold Schwarzenegger by reviewing one of his movies that I didn't review called The Villain.
Ooh. Okay.
And John Ratsey saying, to be fair, they would like to see God of War instead of Fortnite. And I was actually thinking, video game that's not a TV show I can put on here, God of War, and then I was like, no, that's too easy. That's the one that everyone's going to go to, because I could clearly see that as a TV show that people would want to see overall. And I wanted to have some fun options that is never going to happen.
Yeah.
Also, we have another super chat from Savage Tiger 13 for $20.
Humble Canuck DM says, very disturbed by the percentage voting for I Spit on Your Grave, the TV show.
Yeah. He says, Savage Tiger says, hey Decker, look up on YouTube every Santa kill in Silent Night 2012, Silent Night kill count, and skip to minute 34. Be warned, this has extreme violence and gore, so everyone else watch at your own risk.
Well, you didn't have to try extra hard to get me to watch it, but okay.
I've actually been sitting here, like, in the back of my mind, thinking, like, what if Decker, Patricia, and I collaborated to write the script for a horror movie? I think we've mentioned this before. We've talked of, it's come up on Live and Wired before. Like, if we wrote a horror movie script, what would it be about?
Yeah, I think we did talk about that for sure.
Sentient, violent ramen.
So essentially, we are watching like an obscure anime that is haunted, and it's about Naruto, and he's eating ramen. And then all of a sudden, the ramen becomes incredibly haunted, and then it chokes Decker through the udon noodles, and then Creepy tries to save Decker by cutting the udon with a knife, but it just shatters into pieces, and then he gets absorbed as well, and then I get absorbed as well, and then somebody gets affected by it, and that's like the first 10 minutes of the movie, and then it plays into something else.
Yeah, to have the superpowers like crawling along and throwing Naruto stars at everyone. Like,
you mean, are you referring to shurikens?
Yeah.
The little Naruto in the ramen?
The fish cakes. That's what you're referring to.
Yeah, the Naruto.
Yeah. There you go.
Savage Tiger 13 dropped another $20 saying, do it!
Well, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Do what? watch the
The $20 is going to be the entire budget of the movie. I warn you.
Actually, I did watch the trailer for that someone made. This was years and years ago, but someone made a trailer for. It was a radio podcast that they had done that was basically a post-apocalyptic radio station reporting on events after the zombie apocalypse occurred. Like basically, a bunch of people living in this rural, possibly Mississippi, some part of the South. They've set up a rudimentary radio station, and they are reporting on events after the zombie apocalypse has occurred. And the trailer ended with the sounds of the station being raided, And I remember thinking to myself, this could actually work.
Of us doing a horror-themed audio play, I think that'll be great.
Yeah. It's just I could actually picture something like that happening. And I don't know if anyone watched it, but it was on both Linkara and Lotus Prince's YouTube channels recently. Some of the former members of Channel Awesome, most notably the ones who got screwed over and were either kicked off or left en masse, but they did a podcast play where they were in a haunted house together. And it was actually
being chased by the specter of Doug, who is taking all of their money.
That's the plot.
I could believe that plot, but no, actually, that isn't what happened. They battled an eldritch horror, but at the same time, I did enjoy it a lot. And I actually was kind of thinking to myself at the time, this actually cuts out a lot of the, fundamental issues with doing a crossover movie special. On the one hand, having everybody get together and be in the same place is awesome. That people can, meet and greet and do that sort of thing.
It can be a lot of fun, but it is a whole hell of a lot of work. And without proper reimbursement, that can lead you into some hot water.
Right. Yeah. And, there's also just the fact that it's expensive as hell to do. Just travel alone is expensive. So, doing it, as a, podcast movie instead of as just a singular thing, I'm like, that could work.
And we've had experience doing podcast plays. We've been doing podcast plays of Manic Expression for almost 6-7 years.
Something like that.
So we could use the $20 and make the killer sentient ramen podcast play.
Yes. Yeah, Creepy has written...
I'm going to have to do the Foley work. That's where the money's going to go. I was going to buy a hell of a lot of noodles.
Yeah. Creepy has actually written a few episodes of a podcast series known as Mason Dixon. Mm-hmm. And I've written 3 podcast plays myself. I've written High Class Academy, I've written Little Monsters with Kevin, and then the most recent one I did last year was called Reflection. Mm-hmm. So and I'm actually planning on... I've actually been working really hard on Mason Dixon episode 4. I actually do have the audio for pretty much every person on for that episode. I'm just waiting on one person, and as soon as that's done, I'll definitely get into editing it right away.
Mm. But it's just a thought. We don't have to do this, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, this...
It's like when you get one of those ideas that is like, that would be so nice, and your whole brain is like, do it.
Yeah,
but it's going to be really tough, and I got a lot of things I'm doing, but this would be awesome.
Yeah. I'm just like, I keep thinking to myself, this could work, I think we might need to talk about this more when we're not on camera and not doing a live stream right now, because we still have a long list of things to go through.
Yeah. And if any of you guys are interested in checking out any of those audio plays that we've done, most of them are in the Manic Expression YouTube channel, with the exception of Reflection, which was new at the time, and it's on my channel, which you can listen to.
Yeah, but they are still available.
Yeah, they are still available for you to check out. Mm-hmm. I think that we can go over to the next bit of news. And my news sheet froze. Great.
No.
Oh, don't worry, I got it back up. Okay, so
yay!
This one I wanted to actually cover because I just found this out like literally an hour ago. It was from coming. Let me just double check if I can find it. Yeah, apparently there's a new Dracula series going to be coming out from the BBC, and I was like, oh really? I actually want to take a look into this for myself. So, whose turn is it? I think it's my turn this time. So I'm just going to read this off. So, let me just pull this up.
I'm still trying to figure out exactly what the hell Sparks do on Mixer. Got a couple of Sparks donations, I think. Sparks.
Yeah, why don't you...
Deadly Striker gave 100 with a pizza slice, and then 1,000 with... I'm not sure what that is. And Day and DB gave 400 with a taco, and I have no idea what Sparks are. I see my Mixer channel has 114,700 of them. No clue what they do.
Will last name guy says new Dracula? No. It's a regular adaptation of Dracula. This is nothing to do with that. I hope not. We don't want to have another, infamous moment involving with the two of you talking about Dracula and some inappropriate stuff, if you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Giggity.
You had to bring it up, didn't you?
I just did.
All right, that's fine.
That's usually how the arguments with my fiance go.
Darth Necrosis says, as long as he doesn't sparkle in the sunlight, I'm up for it. I don't think it's going to be any more Twilight, so I think you're good.
I want to watch a different movie.
I can't seem to get through. My screen had just turned black.
Oh dear.
So I think I'm screwed. So Decker, it's on my... I sent it to you via Skype. You're going to have to, cover this while I restart my computer. And now it just turned blue. So that's great. So I'll be right back.
Okay. Wait, you did send it on Skype? Because I see the last thing I sent you on Skype, but I don't see anything else.
I'm not currently signed into Skype. It kind of chews up the bandwidth a bit.
Hi! I'm Decker Shadow. Inverse now, inverse. Oh, shit. What were we gonna do? Aha! Aha!
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. There we go. So, first look at Clay's Bang in Stephen Moffat's Dracula series. Okay, BBC Netflix unveiled first look at Clay's Bang in Stephen Moffat's Dracula. Get out of here, ads. I don't want you. Go away. How do I turn that off? Okay, there. There. Okay, maybe not there. Fuck it. He's unveiled the first look at Clay's Bang from The Girl in the Spider's Web as Dracula in Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss' upcoming series about legendary vampires. Check it out in the full image in the gallery below. Okay, there's nothing. It's just a big black screen. This is a wonderful page. I love this so much. Let's just, okay, it's not react. It's okay. Hi. This is a fantastic article we just read. Wasn't it?
Yay?
I have no idea what Patricia is gone for literally seconds.
And this happens.
Oh man. Why? Okay. Yeah, plays Bangs. Dracula. New Dracula. It's made a series about Dracula.
I know there was a Dracula TV series back in the 80s or 90s. Like a group of people. Like Dracula was an evil corporate millionaire, because of course he was, and a group of people were like constantly trying to stop him.
What? Why would I guess if you're around for that long, you got plenty of time to really see returns on your investments.
Mm.
See, that's the sad thing. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to figure out all the summer specials to do, and I'm like, but I'm mortal. Damn it! I don't have an unlimited amount of summers to do an unlimited amount of summer specials like I want.
Do not try and turn yourself into a vampire just so you can do more summer specials.
But
hey
I
guys,
want to.
I'm back.
Oh, and hey, your camera works this time.
Yeah, I know. So
I took care of that article for you. You don't have to worry.
Oh, great! Did you?
Terrible.
I actually saw the view, and let me guess, the article didn't actually load up. Don't worry, I actually got it load up on my screen, so I'll take a look into it. So yeah, you already read about this part. Check out the full gallery in the image below. This is actually what the rest of it says.
Oh, there was an article there.
Yes. So I'll take a. I was supposed to read this article anyway, so I'll read it. No, I'm not interested in bringing in Angus beef.
I am.
Or we already talked about cheesesteak for like 20 minutes. I think we're done. Dracula is inspired by Bram Stoker's classic novel and was written and created by Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss. The 90-minute episodes will reintroduce the world of Dracula in 1897 Transylvania, where the blood-drinking count is drawing his plans against Victoria London. Bang says, I am thrilled to be taking the role of Dracula, especially when the script is in the hands of the incredible talents of Stephen Moffat, Mark Gatiss, and the team responsible for Sherlock. I'm so excited that I get to dig into this iconic and super interesting character. Yes, he's evil, but there's so much more to him. He's charismatic, intelligent, witty, and sexy. I realize that there's a lot to live up to with these amazing people that have played him over the years, but I feel so privileged to be taking on this incredible character. It's one of those moments where who else could be it than Clace? He has it all: brilliant, gorgeous, charismatic, lethal, tall, dark, and gruesome all at once. Bang recently starred in The Girl in the Spider's Web, based off of the novel by Stieg Larsson. His other credits include The Square, The Bridge, Borgen, and the upcoming The Bay of Silence, The Glass Room, and Lyrebird. Wenger and director of BBC content Charlotte Moore Dracula commissioned the series, which is being written and created by Moffat and Gatiss. Executive producers are Gatiss, Moffat, and Sue Virtue for Hartswood's film. Ben Irving for BBC will be handled by Tans for Netflix. BBC Studios Distribution will handle the international distribution. Brandon Kilgore. Patricia, do the smart making. We tried yelling, panicking, and even making an awkward silence. Oh no, I've only been gone for like a few minutes, and that's what happens?
Pretty much. Also, is it just me, or does it look like Dracula has acne?
Yeah, he does. Looks like it. I mean, I know it's supposed to be like blood splatter, and he's supposed to be like, removing the blood from his lips. But yeah, it does kind of look like blood pus-filled acne.
Yeah,
gross.
Dracula is back, and he's going to high school.
Dracula high.
It also looks like he has pink eye in both eyes.
Yeah. Let's see. Begin slideshow, and let me just click on that. So there's that, and there's the next image. Just only these two pictures, which is a bit of a disappointment. But to be fair, this was just announced, like, what was it? I think it was yesterday. So, yeah, it was announced yesterday. So we're just getting into, like, some new information. I don't think there's, like, any new information in regards to, like, what this is about. So there we go. Android 21 Lola says, my life is a teenage Dracula.
Welcome to my life as a
teenage Dracula. To my life as a teenage Dracula. My teenage Dracula life.
Oh boy.
Poor Decker.
Hey. We put up with your stuff, Decker. I mean, you could at least be patient with us.
Puddock says it looks like bacon bits.
That's actually funnier than acne. Dracula got a little carried away at the salad bar. Dracula has gone vegetarian. He's become a Twilight vampire.
It must resist the meat, must put in the bacon bits, which is why we were tempted by the Angus beef at the Walmart ad when we were looking into it. It's like, it knows. It knows.
It knows.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man.
Will Last Name Guy says, what we really need is a new Gremlins movie, and I don't mean a damn reboot.
Well, we actually do have something regarding about Gremlins.
A damn reboot!
Yeah, well, more like a damn prequel series.
Oh, that's even better. That's everyone loves prequels.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all we wanted, right? Right? No, it's not. I mean, like, to be fair, I actually did hear about this, like,
That's
Gremlins.
interesting. Dr. Doom asks, or was it no? No, it was John Washburn. The names were next to each other, and I get confused. Sorry, Dr. Doom. But John Washburn asks, I wonder if the gremlin version of Gizmo would be evil. And that's actually a good question, considering, I mean, it's not like it took turning into the green slimy one before the other ones were evil. They were evil before when they were cute and fuzzy.
Mm-hmm. You have a 2-pound comment from Adam A summer of hammer horror, Decker or creepy?
Huh. She horror, so it appeals to Decker. Cheesy, it appeals to me.
Crossover.
But Creepy's just going to get annoyed every single episode when I just start up with stop, hammer time. He's like, this is the 8th frickin' week!
It's what you do. It's what you do. All right, let me just pull out the article. So here we go. The Gremlins animated prequel. So, here we go. So I think it's Creepy's turn.
Secrets of the Mogwai.
Oh man, this is gonna be awful. I feel like. Okay. The Gremlins animated series is officially moving forward at the Warner Media streaming service. Okay, that first sentence, and I am suddenly reminded of the animated Ewoks series.
Oh.
The series, which Variety exclusively reported back in February, will be titled Gremlins: Secrets of the Mogwai. Set in 1920 Shanghai, the series will tell the story of how 10-year-old Sam Wing, future shop owner Mr. Wing in the 1984 movie, met the young Mogwai called Gizmo.
Spiderboy43 says, oh, and it's animated too. Oh, that's just great. Great.
Okay, and now I'm getting, like, the animated Punky Brewster flashbacks. You know, like, kid meets magical furry creature. So, yeah. Along with a teenage street thief named L, Sam and Gizmo take a perilous journey through the Chinese countryside, encountering and sometimes battling colorful monsters and spirits from Chinese folklore. On their quest to return Gizmo to his family and uncover a legendary treasure, they are pursued by a power-hungry industrialist and his growing army of evil gremlins. Okay, everything about this paragraph sounds like it was drawn up to be an 80s animated series. Like, literally all of it.
Maybe they were planning on having this out in the 80s, but then maybe like some things didn't go very well and it was like shelved for like 30 years.
So the rights just got passed back and forth?
That is possible, actually. I mean,
we have talked about like rejected stuff in the past. Remember we talked about like, you know, the other animated adaptations of video games, like the Castlevania series and the Metroid series that never came out.
Right. And then there was, of course, we found that old petition to not have, to change Batman.
Then there was the American Sailor Moon.
Right.
So this wouldn't be too much of a surprise if that were to be the case.
It's had to say American Sailor Moon. Now I'm having flashbacks
of Sailor Mercury in the wheelchair.
Yeah, poor Sailor Mercury.
I know.
Or Sailor Mercury. The half-hour series has received a 10-episode order at the streamer Zay Chun. At the streamer. Zay Chun will write the series and serve as co-executive producer. Daryl Frank and Justin Falvey of Amblin Television will executive produce, along with Sam Register. Brendan Hay will also co-executive produce. How many executive producers did this show need? With Dan Crowell serving as supervising producer, Ambin will produce in association with Warner Brothers Animation. The first Gremlin film was released in 1984, directed by Joe Dante and written by Chris Columbus. The film was a major box office success. It went on to gross over $153 million worldwide on a reported budget of $11 million. A sequel, Gremlins 2: The New Batch, was released in 1990 with Dante returning to direct. News of the series' order comes as Warner Media continues to bulk up its original lineup for its yet-to-be-named streaming service. Earlier on Monday, it was announced that the Kaylee Cuoco-led drama series The Flight Attendant had landed at the service, while last week it was announced that Maniac creator Patrick Somerville had signed on to run 2 new series for Warner Media as well. Other projects include other projects already ordered for the nation streamer include Dune: The Sisterhood, Tokyo Vice, starring Ansel Elgort, and Love Life, starring Anna Kendrick, with Paul Feig executive producing.
So now we have to decide on which of these series, based off of cuddly creatures that are dangerous, are going to be the better one. Is it going to be Gremlins or Critters?
This sounds like a live and wide poll.
When both of them come out, we'll definitely make our decision by then.
I'm just like, does any of this at any point involve Gizmo getting wet or being fed after midnight, or being like any of the rules that the movies actually set up? Or
your guess is as good as mine.
I'm just depressed now. I need some non-depressed news.
No, we're just getting. No, not yet. We have more stuff to go over.
So what's been going on with the Paul brothers?
I don't think we're going to be talking about that yet. I don't think there has been any recent news regarding about them, as far as I know. Is there any news regarding about them?
I just figured just check, just do a quick Google and you can find just anything.
Yeah, well, luckily for us today, there's not really a lot of YouTube news, which is, thank God. But
I do find it funny how YouTube's the what's the word I'm looking for here? The YouTube Studio. They keep trying to improve and roll out the new one that everyone's supposed to use. And it's making it a lot harder to get back to Studio Classic, which is what I have to do in order to actually get the information I need to be able to properly itemize the earnings from Live and Wired and split it accordingly. So, I'm noticing that it's making it harder and harder to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it gives you new insights. It's like, this is so handy. All this information at your fingertips that can help you improve your show. And one of the things it's doing is, since the summer of Jackie Chan has started, I've been putting the videos out, and they have not been performing as, well as the videos were when I was pumping stuff out more regularly. Now, I figured they weren't going to because, YouTube, their algorithms, they just say, hey, you haven't put anything out in a while? Fuck you. So, since the previous thing that was supposed to be out was Glass, which still is blocked, and the current stage on the copyrights thing is going to expire on the 18th.
Mm-hmm.
And see what happens then, whether or not it'll be live, or if I'll get a strike and it'll be dragged out for another few weeks.
Yeah.
But YouTube has a funny little thing, because it's getting the amount of views I thought it would. And YouTube is telling me It's because no one wants to see it. Oh, your watch time on average is about right, but, it's getting a lot less views because it's not being clicked on when we send it out to people. That's why. Mm-hmm. And in the meantime, the subscribers on the second week, that one goes up, and it does a little better, as I assumed it would. It also responded with a big boost of views for the first week, because, a lot of people didn't even know it happened because they didn't get the notification.
Right.
It's amazing. It's almost like YouTube isn't sending it out to everybody. But according to their new studio, they are. It's just people are choosing not to click on it.
It's interesting. But, YouTube is YouTube, which is to be expected, in which, I uploaded this video. And then they're like, what? I didn't get the notification. Did you click the bell? Yes. Did you sacrifice a goat? Yes.
Yeah, of course. Everyone knows about the goat sacrificing step.
Exactly. So, it's in the fine print of YouTube, you have to do that. But, yeah, it's getting even more difficult, even for the case of, like, so many people who do this stuff for a living. It's like, hey, I did this. I worked on it for weeks. Please watch it. And they're like, oh, I didn't even know it was up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it sucks. All right. So I have some more. You know what? Let's take a breather from some negative stuff. So I'm just gonna put up some good news.
Cheesecakes. Not cheesesteaks. You all hate me on that one. Cheesecakes. We can all agree on exactly the right way to make one.
New York or Japanese?
New York, the one that tastes like cake, not like cheese.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely, yeah, I do enjoy New York cheesecake myself, for sure. Whether you like it classic or with fruit or with chocolate or whatever, it's like, cheesecake is good. I like cheesecake. So there you go.
Good.
All right, so I'm going to pull out the next article, and this one is regarding about the upcoming RoboCop sequel. So I think it's, I think Decker can read this one, even though that he technically did read some parts, and we're not doing Scooby-Doo. Not yet. Until Scoob comes out, then, or the Scooby-Doo, the recent one that, apparently it's coming out really soon, then... the one with Wonder Woman and Steve Urkel, then maybe we'll talk about that. But in the meantime, we're gonna wait. So, RoboCop.
I'm just imagining Wonder Woman and Steve Urkel running off and having like a buddy cop movie. And I want Urkel to be the serious one.
It'll be like Gary Coleman. Hey, Gary Coleman was the one who solved the mystery. It's like we need to have Steve Urkel, and he uses the power of his science to solve the mystery.
Darkfu456 says, I bet Decker puts Cheese Whiz on his cheesecake.
Ugh.
What of it? Cheese Whiz is good. Well, not my fault. Everyone's.
I bet that Decker as a
Pansy
kid
don't know how to eat Cheese Whiz.
I bet Decker as a kid probably did what Bobby did in, a Goofy movie where he had like the cheese in his hand and he's like, it's the Leaning Tower of Cheese.
Yep. Yep.
RoboCop.
So am I reading this one?
Yes.
Okay. He may not be making that Alien sequel we've all been begging for. Tiny Violin. But Neil Blomkamp, District 9, is most definitely making a sequel to RoboCop, and it's set to be a follow-up to Paul Verhoeven's original classic. As we learned last year, Blomkamp is rewriting a script penned by original RoboCop scribes Ed Neumeyer and Michael Miner back in the 80s. Last we heard, the movie title was RoboCop Returns. Neumeyer had described Blomkamp's vision earlier this year. His idea is that it should be the proper Verhoeven, if Verhoeven had directed a movie right after RoboCop. I think that's what he's trying to achieve. And Blomkamp himself updated on the project over on Twitter tonight, expressing a similar sentiment. Script's being written, going well. Imagine watching Verhoeven do a follow-up film. This tweet led to a fan asking if the original RoboCop suit will be used in the new movie, and Blomkamp assured it will be. 1,000,000% original, he tweeted in response to the question. Will Peter Weller also be back inside that original suit? Only time will tell.
Yeah, and here's the tweet right here. 1,000,000% original, according to Neil Blomkamp. So
does that mean they're actually using the original, not making a new one, just gonna dust it off and throw it on the actor?
Yeah, I guess that's what they're referring to. It's like,
I mean, technically speaking, RoboCop 2 didn't even use the original suit from RoboCop. They used a fiberglass one instead of metal.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're referring to like the original design, but I think they're referring to like, oh, you're gonna do the original suit. I mean, I take it that it's probably like rusted at this point. It's been like almost like it's been over 30 years. But then again, I don't know. This actually was really funny. I went. Let's see whose turn it is. I think it's mine. So I'm gonna read this one. This one actually caught me off guard. So
real quick, actually, Kevin Burdine's been asking this for a bit, asking Patricia if you've seen the movie I Am Mother on Netflix, and he told me it would be a good movie for myself and Charlie to see.
No, I have not seen it. Sorry, I'll definitely have to check into it. So.
Is it about moms? It's about moms, isn't it? It's a nice movie with momness. Mm-hmm. It's going to help encourage my fiancé to get pregnators.
Yes. Okay, so this one. This was actually a surprise because I've been hearing about this for a while, but I didn't think it was actually going to happen. So we already know about Tommy Wiseau and his cult classic So Bad It's Good movie, The Room. And he's been talking for quite a while about like doing some more projects, and it's actually out. There is a pilot for his sci-fi series called Space World with him and Greg Sestero, or I think that's how you pronounce it. So I didn't take a look into it because I only just saw the article, but I bet it's like really hilarious, unintentional, but I'm sure it's hilarious. But here it is. The Room's Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero, that's how you pronounce it, travel the galaxy in the animated pilot Space World. Filmmakers and actors Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero are going from the confines of the cult hit The Room to intergalactic adventures in the new animated pilot Space World. Wiseau and Sestero are lending their voices to the loosely serialized animated sci-fi series. Wiseau stars as the mysterious bounty hunter known as Texas? TX? I'm not sure how it's pronounced. A man in search of his home planet, which he knows nothing about. Sestero's Drogal is TX's Texas. I don't know.
Every time I see that, I just think Texas.
Let's see. Lifelong nemesis and Space World's most bloodthirsty killer. Together they explore and explode Space World's vast but dingy universe of limitless possibilities, technologies, and stupidities. The self-aware pilot describes itself as a sci-fi series that takes down its hair, kicks off its boots, and lets itself be straight up dumb. The new project The new project comes 2 years after the critically acclaimed film The Disaster Artist, directed by James Franco and written by Scott Neustadter and Michael H. Weber. The film was an adaptation of Sestero's and Tom Bissell's 2013 nonfiction book of the same name, which puts a spotlight on the production of Wiseau's aforementioned So Bad It's Good cult film, The Room, in 2003. The pilot also stars Georgia Smith's Warfus, Brock Laborde, Computer Person, A Cool Dang, Sherbert Brown, and Mikey Felton, Bleeby. Space World is created by Brock Laborde and distributed by Octopi. Watch the pilot below.
And now the chat is full of quotes of The Room.
Oh, goody.
Oh, hi, Mark. How is sex life?
I did not shoot him.
Everyone betray me. I am fed up with this world. The bad thing is, I delivered that line with the exact same emotion as Tommy Wiseau.
Yes. So, if you wanted some more Tommy Wiseau goodness, then watch Space World.
Oh man, that just.
I don't have anything to say.
I don't either. I'm just Space World.
Next article. Let me see.
Right.
It feels like the chi is just flowing out of me the more these articles we go through.
Welcome to the Drain Your Life Hour.
Live and
Jay,
Wired.
Jay Fernstein's asking, how about something so good it's good?
Live and Wired, episode 44. We drain your life. Okay, so this one is actually a leak based off of the upcoming Grand Theft Auto 6, which it's, kind of shaky, but it's actually pretty interesting if they are going into this direction. So I'm actually just going to pull this up. So, and if it does happen, you heard it here first. On Games Radar, new Grand Theft Auto 6 leak says that the game is set in 1970s/80s Brazil, inspired by Netflix's Narcos, and it's next gen only. Now, again, this is a leak, so it could be completely wrong, but apparently this is what the new information about it says. So, Creepy, it's your turn.
Alrighty. This GTA 6 leak is no joke. Posted on Reddit, the most reliable place on Earth to read anything on the internet, user Jack-O-Lantern1982 has posted a
I always love the internet leaks. It's from Reddit, from Jack-O-Lantern1982. Like, I don't have to ham that up or make it sound sillier than it is.
Mm-hmm. A lengthy bullet point list about what has apparently included the next Grand Theft Auto game, including the fact that it's set across multiple decades, deals with the rise of a drug cartel, and is set partially in Vice City. Not parsley in Vice City, but partly. Blech. I can use words now! You can read the entire list of alleged information about GTA 6 below, but there's plenty more to this leak than just one Reddit post, as other leaks have popped up that corroborate the points in Jack-O-Lantern1982's post, like the one from Reddit user GFK53.
It's amazing they corroborate after it's posted. And it could still have some accuracy in there. It's going to be interesting to look at it and talk about it. But at the same time, whenever I see leaks and such, it's just like, I remember Yoshi's Flippin' Island and WarioWare Shove It Up Your Own Ass.
Yeah, I remember the April Fool's article about SpongeBob joining Super Smash Brothers. Yeah, that was my favorite. And Ryu, the only way you can be able to unlock Shenlong is if you defeated M. Bison 2 times without being hurt.
Shenlong.
Yes.
Okay. Number 1. The next GTA title has been in development since 2012, but production didn't begin properly until 2015. But even then, the team was more focused on Red Dead Redemption 2.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, it's another Rockstar worldwide production.
What a leak!
Wow.
Number 3, codename is Project Americas. Number 4, set in both Vice City and a new fictional location based on Rio de Janeiro.
Well, I mean, Vice City is also a fictional location, but it's based on Miami.
Right. Yeah.
Number
5, some linear missions take place in Liberty City, but it isn't an open world. Think Ludendorff in GTA 5. Number 6, game will balance realism and arcade, and it won't be as realistic as Red Dead Redemption 2. Number 7, one playable protagonist, male, not female, despite supposed leaks. Number 8, set in the 1970s and early 80s, and 1970s and 80s. Number 9, you play an up-and-coming drug lord wannabe named Ricardo, last name Montalban. Another key character called Casey, with a K, is part of the narrative. You start off as a grunt doing runs as a cocaine smuggler from Vice City, to the new large South American area before making connections with big-time drug lords and making your way up multiple cities. This sounds like that season of Archer where they found that metric ton of cocaine.
Oh, Archer, not Arthur.
Archer. Yeah.
Oh god! A lot of people had issues with Mr. Ratburn getting married to a gay guy. We have an episode of Arthur.
Have an entire season devoted to that time they found a ton of cocaine.
Okay, why do I want to watch this so badly?
Buster, what are you doing with all that powdered sugar? I don't know, Arthur, but my nose is bleeding now. Okay.
Next one, there will also be a giant prison which will play a part in the game. Well, if you're trying to become the lord of an international drug cartel, then a giant prison is something that you should probably, prepare for at the very least. Next one will feature a chapter system similar to a Tarantino flick or Red Dead. I noticed Red Dead Redemption 2 keeps getting thrown around.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense. It was their newest game, so I take it that they're probably going to take some of the assets and the designs from Red Dead Redemption 2 and put it into this game. Maybe probably to save time. It's done with a lot of games, so it's not too surprising.
Weather is a heavy focus. Hurricanes, floods, etc.
I can't wait to be trying to run from the cops in a rainstorm, and I turn down the wrong street, and it just doesn't drain right, and then there goes the engine, just blowing in a giant frickin' puddle.
Mm-hmm. Buildings change over the era's vehicles too, so older, rare, classic cars get more expensive as time progresses, etc. Full economy.
Okay, investing.
Heavily inspired by Netflix's Narcos.
I've actually heard a lot about that series, but I haven't had a chance to see it.
They want to have an incredible 70s/80s soundtrack.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. Grand Theft Auto is known for having, an eclectic soundtrack.
Eddie heard us saying the horse balls mechanic. Will they be bringing that in from Red Dead Redemption 2?
Oh, goody.
Will they have horses with properly animated balls that react to the weather? Or maybe just those little ball dangly things hanging on the back of trucks driven by jackasses. Maybe those will react to the weather.
Sure. All right. Go ahead. Continue.
A younger Martin Madrazo will make an appearance, as will his father, who is a big drug lord at the time. You do some missions for the Madrazo family involving hits on other gangs.
I think that's probably a character from one of the Grand Theft Auto games.
Vice City.
Vice City, yeah. So, wow, that's actually interesting. We don't usually have.
Or wait, no, jeez, I'm dumb. Martin Madrazo. He's from. Well, is he from Vice City? I don't know, but he's definitely in Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah. So that's actually interesting. You usually don't get recurring characters in a Grand Theft Auto game.
They have some cameos here and there.
Yeah, but not like a major, not like major characters, like acknowledgement.
It's like they have the protagonist from Grand Theft Auto 3 pop up from time to time, but it's usually as a joke. He's just like not talking because he was a silent protagonist, so he never says anything and he just does some stuff and leaves.
Yeah.
And now Iron Barons tell me, no, Martin's from Grand Theft Auto 5.
Okay.
It's like, now everyone's telling me that. I got it before everyone corrected me. Please, stop correcting me.
All right, continue, Creepy.
Drug Empire building is a mechanic similar to Vice City Stories, but bigger. Think the GTA Online system and dial it up to 11. You can only have weapons on your person, no arsenal in your back pocket like Red Dead Redemption 2 again.
I know, we get it. No, what's with the comparisons to Red Dead Redemption 2? We get it.
They mentioned Red Dead Redemption 2 in the next one. Your personal vehicle will be like your horse saddle, blankety blank. All your equipment is stored in the trunk. You also store your body armor in the car. If you wear it, appears no longer just an invisible thing. There will be tons of subtle subtitle reading. Think Mac Payne 3 amounts. Very immersive. like watching an episode of Narcos. Whenever you're in South America, don't expect to hear much
English. Why do
English.
I feel like this leak was written by someone who was playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption and watching a lot of Narcos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vice City, however, is a mix of everything, but mostly English. Last bit of narrative info, it will discuss topics such as HIV and the immigration crisis of the time, a fictional version of Fidel Castro, etc. Next gen only, not PS4 or Xbox One. GTA 6 is now their primary focus, along with another title which might be Bully 2. Game is still in the pre-alpha, so names, locations, details could and probably will change.
So don't worry when the game comes out and it's completely different, except it's still called Grand Theft Auto 6. This leak is still relevant, even if it's not even called Grand Theft Auto 6 anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Everything could change. There might be no South America, there might be no cocaine, there might be no setting in the 1980s and 70s, but we said that Grand Theft Auto 6 is definitely going to come out soon.
I'd like a Grand Theft Auto 6 set in Tokyo with a fictional Yakuza.
That'd be awesome, actually. I know that they did the Grand Theft Auto Chinatown stories.
I mean, there's an entire Yakuza series, but that's more like Shenmue than Grand Theft Auto.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Nothing else to say. So, again, if this actually does happen, then hey, you heard it here first. But if it doesn't, then we'll just look like total idiots saying, oops.
And Iron Baron says Rockstar literally said they do not see the GTA franchise taking place in another country besides the United States.
Well, I mean, it's technically
the first one, there was Grand Theft Auto London. Just saying, that the first game had the London expansion that happened.
Well, yeah, technically they didn't say that it was going to take place in South America. They just said it was going to be inspired by it. So
it's like a fictional Rio de Janeiro. And then Vice City would probably starts off in Rio de Janeiro and then leads into Vice City. But I'm wondering, would there be any kind of connecting part of the map? Can you hop on a boat and just go, between?
I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't be too much of a surprise, to be quite honest, but I would definitely like to see that. I mean, we already went to Los Santos, and we've already been the California area for quite a bit of a few games. I know Grand Theft Auto 4, we were in, I think, Liberty City.
Yeah.
So I think maybe they want to change up locations a little bit. They said Vice City, and then maybe we'll go to Liberty City for a little bit. So there'll definitely be some rotations between all these different locations, which it's going to be interesting because I don't think that has happened yet, in which you go from Vice City to Liberty City to maybe Los Santos and then maybe to a new location. So I'm actually curious to see how well that turns out. If it even is true.
Puddock's asking, go on a boat from Miami to Rio? I mean, technically trying to do that on a jet ski is a long fucking trip. But I just mean big open ocean, lots of water. Would that really be too hard for them to say, okay, here is a big fucking stretch of ocean that is ridiculously huge, and you can go between them? Because Grand Theft Auto 5, you can steal jet liners. You can fly in a jumbo jet.
Yeah.
But
you could even have
the map, while very large, you can't really go too far in your jumbo jet before you're going to have to try and find somewhere on that highway to park it.
Very true. All right, so let's go over to the next bit of news. So this one's for Decker, and we got some more news regarding about Sylvester Stallone, and it has nothing to do with Rambo 6, Rambo 5. I keep losing count. The one that has, Sylvester Stallone fighting off the drug cartel. So,
does it have the one with the party at Kitty and such and such?
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, we're talking about we're talking about another project that, Sylvester Stallone is actually thinking about bringing back. So he already brought back Rambo. He already did the Rocky series with Creed. So let's bring back another property that he's been known for quite a few years. He's interested in bringing back Expendables with the Expendables 4. So, so go ahead.
Finally, Sylvester Stallone has been teasing the Expendables 4 for a while now, but it's possible he was on the fence about the storyline ahead, and inspiration just fell from the sky. Literally. Someone else wrote a script and it just dropped out of their window and he found it. Woo! It sounds like the Independence Day fireworks got the gears turning in Sly's head, and now maybe he'll do more than just talk about the next movie. Dun-dun-dun.
Yes. So yeah, this is a post that he posted on Instagram. All those July 4th fireworks got my mind going. I'm starting to cook up the next adventure. So, yay.
Hooray.
Nice. I kind of thought the next adventure was already cooking on the stove, but if he has a new flash of inspiration, that sounds promising. A few months ago, Sylvester Stallone excited fans with an Expendables 2 throwback photo alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger and Bruce Willis. Sly called them the Three Wise Guys and Last of the Breed. It looks like a hint to The Expendables 4, which was said to be in the works again after some behind-the-scenes hiccups. Sylvester Stallone directed and co-wrote The Expendables, which started this franchise in August 2010. Stallone co-wrote the script for The Expendables 2, which came out in August 2012. He did the same for The Expendables 3, which came out in August 2014. By that schedule, you'd expect The Expendables 4 to come out in August 2016, but that didn't happen in this dimension. In 2016, it was announced that The Expendables 4 was going to bring back some original stars as the final film of the franchise. Then, Sylvester Stallone walked away from the franchise, reportedly after creative disagreements with a studio exec. Arnold Schwarzenegger said he wouldn't return to the franchise without Sly, adding that he loved the first two movies but wasn't happy with his story in the third one. In 2018, there were some positive updates saying Sylvester Stallone and The Expendables 4 were back on track. It sounds like things just got a bit delayed, since one report had Rambo 5 and The Expendables 4 opening September 2018 and early 2019, respectively, so maybe we need to just push everything back a year since Rambo 5 Last Blood is now opening in September 2019. Sylvester Stallone has a lot going on, from Rambo 5 to his Rocky documentary to potentially a new idea for Rocky, despite appearing to retire from that role after Creed 2. He's also promoting his new movie Escape Plan 3, which just came out straight to video. He seems to like that film a lot more than Escape Plan 2. Now it sounds like Sylvester Stallone has a new, or at least slightly updated, plan in mind for The Expendables 4. Fans are commenting on Instagram with suggestions, like making the movie rated R, or adding Keanu Reeves this time. Get in line. Everyone wants a piece of Keanu. Are you excited to see what Sylvester Stallone cooks up in The Expendables 4 and who returns to join him? Yeah?
Sure.
Creepy's not, but I like when my men are expandable.
Yeah, it would be interesting. Like, who hasn't been a part of the group yet that we can add into the mix? I mean, Keanu Reeves is actually a really nice choice for sure. Like, who else hasn't been chosen yet?
I mean, there's Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, but I don't know about that.
I would say Patrick Swayze, but he's dead.
Yeah.
God damn it.
She's creepy, man.
Patrick Swayze starred in a few action movies.
I know, but seriously, dude, no. Let me think.
Spider-Boy43 is asking Keanu Reeves as the villain.
Ooh. Very nice. I like that. I like that.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. Yeah. That'd be good. Michael Keaton would...
I mean, he was the villain in Spider-Man Homecoming. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I think Michael Keaton would be good. For sure.
Michael Keaton's a villain in a lot of things. I was thinking more Michael Keaton good guy. See if I can get a little more, like, I don't know. He's not really action star, but he's Batman. He's Batman.
Yeah. How about, let's see. We already had Wesley Snipes, right?
I think so. I'm trying. I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, what about Denzel Washington?
Itsuki's Kuro says Burt Gummer.
Burt Gummer.
Michael Gross.
Let's see. Some people were saying Mr. T. Mr. T.
Burt Reynolds.
Why hasn't Mr. T been there? Mr. T has to be there. They need Mr. T.
Yeah, Mr. T. We need to have Mr. T for sure. We need to have our Rocky trio. We need to have Rocky, Ivan Drago, and Clubber Lang together. We need to have this, Mr. T.
True. I thought of another one, but I'm not going to say it outside because I realized that would be legitimately horrible, not me just pretending to be horrible.
Let's see, Robert Downey Jr. Oh, that's a good one.
It's just too bad they killed off Van Damme's character.
Yeah. Peter Weller, Lawrence Fishburne. Ooh, yeah. If we're gonna have Keanu Reeves, we need to have Lawrence Fishburne in there. Little Mia Morpheus.
True.
Samuel L. Jackson. That's good. Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis is already in The Expendables. We're talking about people who haven't been in it yet. Since they added, I believe they added women into the mix with Expendables 3. So let's mix some women in there too. As for who, that'd be a really good question. I'm not sure. Bruce Campbell. Ooh, Bruce Campbell in Expendables 4. That'd be awesome. Sean Bean. That's another good one. Adrian Paul. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of open possibilities to see, who would be in the mix. So I don't. We still don't know if when it's going to be coming out. I mean, we do know that Sylvester Stallone is putting in Creed and Rambo 5 in more priority, but we'll have to wait and see what happens next.
Bolt Hibby gave 3,000 sparks on Mixer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I still don't know exactly what sparks are, but thank you.
Thank you. All right, so let's cover some more information right before we go over to our last bit of YouTube news. Sad.
My favorite.
I know.
No.
Sigourney Weaver. Spider-Boy 43 says Sigourney Weaver.
That'd be great.
That's a good one.
Yeah, for sure. Kurt Russell. Yeah, Kurt Russell.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, Kurt Rowland. Nice.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to my streaming software that went yellow and red real fast. I hope everything came through okay.
Yeah. Let's see. We have Sarah Michelle Gellar. Bruce Lee as a hologram.
Bruce as a hologram? I don't think you could do that.
Yeah, Sorry.
I mean, I don't particularly like it when they have the CGI'd up characters that it's like, hey, they look like the actor. I'm like, not really.
No.
But yeah, just to take
Steven Seagal.
I'm gonna have to say, I guess he'd fit.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, he's already in.
He was the bad guy in the second one, I believe, and died.
Right.
Yeah.
Like in the movie, he's not really dead. So.
Yeah, but Will Smith. Yeah, that'd be good. That could be good.
Matanu is asking, isn't Google killing Hangouts at some point? And I've heard possibly either at the end of this month or beginning of this month. So in a couple of episodes of Live and Wired, we're going to have to figure out another way to conference call.
Yeah.
And be able to share files and screens and such.
And so forth.
Let's see. The T-Rex from Jurassic Park?
Fuck it!
Okay.
Bring out the Predator, too.
Sure. Was Linda Clark Sarah Connor? No, I think that was Linda Hamilton.
Yeah.
So, Linda Hamilton, sure. Let's have her. Why not? The woman who played RoboCop's female partner. Mark Hamill.
No, Sandra Bullock.
Oh, okay. Sandra Bullock, sure. She's been in a few action movies. Lance Hendrickson, Willem Dafoe, Christopher Walken. Oh my god, that is amazing. Christopher Walken in Expendables 4. Genius.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will he be doing the walk? I'm curious. Will there be a scene where he's doing the walk? You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. All right. I think we have enough for the suggestions. So thank you, everybody. I'm just going to move on to our next article. So it's my turn this time. So I'm just going to read this one off, and it's regarding about Pokemon Sword and Shield and the National Dex controversy about how it's not going to be expanded, and everybody was so irritated. After weeks of fan outrage and anger, the producer of Pokemon Sword and Shield, Junichi Matsuda, released a statement yesterday addressing the decision of not having all the Pokemon move forward to Sword and Shield. The statement is fairly short, and the main takeaway is simple. They hear all the anger and disappointment, but they aren't changing their plans to only have some Pokemon return from previous games. Earlier this month at E3 2019, during a Nintendo stream, Matsuda confirmed the bad news to viewers. Unlike previous games in the franchise, Sword and Shield will allow some Pokemon to be imported from other generations and regions. This news spread fast across the Pokemon community, and many fans were upset over the news. For some players who have been importing their favorite Pokemon for years from game to game, they were fearful that this would no longer be possible. In the statement released yesterday and during the initial announcement, Masuda assured fans that this was not an easy decision to make. Masuda feels that moving forward, this was for the best. Masuda also added that just because a Pokemon doesn't appear in Sword and Shield doesn't mean that they will not appear in a future game. He also ended the short statement with a simple message to the fans. We are pouring our hearts into these games, and we hope you will look forward to joining us on this new journey.
Burn the heretic!
Jeez, man. Relax. This is something to remember. The people at Game Freak who are working on this game are spending months and years of their lives developing this new adventure. It's okay to be disappointed or being a bit upset, like Decker, about the national NetDex news, but please do not attack, harass, or insult the people making the game. This accomplishes nothing and is a shitty way to treat people. We still don't know the full list of Pokemon Sword and Shield and which creatures would have made the cut. Until we learn that information, players will have to hope that their favorite Pokemon has made it into their upcoming game. So... yeah, I know a lot of people who were like so irritated every time that Pokemon posts something like brand new, like either an episode clip from Sun and Moon or their new Pokemon Masters game. They're like, bring back National Dex, bring back National Dex, bring back National Dex. That's all they write. I was actually tweeting about me catching up with the Pokemon anime for the first time in over 15 years, and I am watching Sun and Moon, and I just caught up into like an episode that was already released in Japan, but is now going to be released in America pretty soon, where Mao, named Mallow in the English version, was reunited with her dead mother in the Pau location, and it's actually like really touching, and it made me cry. I think it definitely will go up there as like one of the most emotional moments in the Pokemon anime, next to like when Ash said Butterfree free, and when Pikachu was almost staying with the other group of Pikachu when Ash let Charizard go. It was like incredibly touching, and half of the comments were like, bring National Dex, bring National Dex, bring National Dex. So yeah,
I'm pretty sure everyone's gonna calm down about the National Dex thing as soon as the Pokemon Sword and Shield regional Dex gets turned into anime waifu Dex-chan, and then everyone's gonna just love it.
Yes. I take it that maybe there's going to be some new nice additions that
at least that would appease me.
Sure. But I think that the trailer that we saw in E3, the one that we talked about, where you had like the giant battles that looked amazing and really exciting, and the new Pokemon that are being introduced, and
Scott Yoshihara says, "Come on, Wailord, I want to super evolve you." Gonna knock the moon out of orbit with that one.
Also, Android 21 Lola says Pikachu in Expendables.
Detective Pikachu, to be more precise. Let's have Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
That's going to be the Detective Pikachu equivalent. It's the closest that we're ever going to get. Let's see. I think that I think that people need to calm down. I think that we need to trust on Game Freak to put their new decisions into the Galar region and see where it goes from there. It's like the Wind Waker complained about, like, oh, the cell shaded graphics. What happened to the realistic Zelda that we saw in Space World 2000? It's like, we've been proven wrong before. I think that this time around, I think we're gonna have to wait for it to like get to more in fruition and give it a proper chance.
I think we need to burn the heretic.
You're not helping, Decker.
Decker helps.
Good point. All right. I think we're running low on time, so I think that we're gonna, cover just like like maybe like one or two more articles right before we go, and yeah, I think that one more article based off of news, and then afterwards we're gonna have the YouTube news. So, yay! All right. Let me see if I can find what I'm looking for. Okay, cover that. Oh, this one. A remake based off of a classic movie. Everybody loves remakes, right?
Again?
Yeah, because what do you do? Okay, so what? Oh, what remake is gonna harm the
I mean,
original? This.
it's one thing to complain about the remakes, just doing the same thing over and over. But then again, we do one of these episodes every 2 weeks.
Yeah, for
True.
sure. Okay, so let's talk about one of two remakes of classic movies that a lot of people seem to have fond memories over. Or there's like, oh, but I've never heard of this movie, but they're making a remake of it, and that's bad. So the first one we're going to be talking about is based off of a David Cronenberg film. No, it's not The Fly.
Damn it! Or
It's
yay, because we're talking about remakes.
Yeah. We're actually talking about Rabid. Rabid remake gets first trailer. So Creepy, it's your turn this time.
All right. Yay for me. The first trailer has been released for Rabid, the remake of David Cronenberg's 1977 horror film about a woman whose experimental surgical operation comes with some, let's say, interesting side effects. This new version stars Laura Vandervoort. I can never get I get over that name. As a woman named Rose who wants to become a fashion designer. Okay. After an accident leaves her scarred, Rose undergoes a radical, untested stem cell treatment. The wallflower turns into the belle of the ball and starts to realize her ambition, but also unwittingly sets off a bloody spiral of contagion.
But isn't a fashion designer and a fashion model two different things?
In theory, yes. Rabid is described by Jen and Sylvia Soska, whose previous credits include 2012's American Mary and 2012's Vendetta. The film co-stars Greg Burke, Stephen McHattie, and Ted Atherton. Okay. It was announced today that Rabid will receive its world premiere at London's horror film festival Fright Fest, which takes place August 22nd through 26th at the Cineworld Leicester Square and the Prince Charles Cinema. Other films screening at the event include director Andre, I don't know how to pronounce that, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, Andre Aja's alligator movie Crawl, Joe Begos' blood-drenched vampire tale Bliss, Chelsea Stardust Satanic Panic, Adam Egypt Mortimer's Daniel Isn't Real, and Aunt Timpson's Elijah Woods starring Come to Daddy.
Isn't Crawl coming out this Friday?
I want to say, yeah.
Yeah.
What was it again? Scroll back. It was Come to Daddy, and there was another one.
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Daniel Isn't Real. That was what I was looking for. Yeah.
Okay.
The Soska sisters will be attending the festival and will introduce a screening of Cronenberg's original Rabid. Italian filmmaker Dario Argento will also be in London for a special screening of his 1982 Galileo film Tenebrae, and a conversation with Fright Fest co-director Alan Jones, who recently adapted and edited Argentino's autobiography, Fear. More attending guests will be announced later in July. Find out more about Fright Fest at the event's official website.
And watch the trailer.
We also got a $5 super chat from Nerdbane saying that they can't wait for an interactive Pokemon breeding game in VR. You're not familiar with Nerdbane's work, are you?
No.
You know Monster Girls?
No.
You know Tumblr Ludes?
No.
You're not familiar with Nerdbane's work. Okay, moving on.
Yes, moving on. So one more remake right before we go into YouTube news. Because we hate ourselves. Okay, so now we're not going to more horror. We're going to go more into psychological thriller. And a lot of people really apparently really like this one because I've been seeing a lot of like negative remarks saying like, "Oh, why are you going to ruin this movie with a remake?" So it is based. So we're going to have a remake apparently based off of the 1990 psychological film Jacob's Ladder. So Decker's turn to read this one.
Okay. Directed David M. Rosenthal's reimagining of Jacob's Ladder, the 1990s psychological thriller directed by Adrian Lyne and starring Tim Robbins, is finally readying for release 6 years after the project was launched. Written by Jeff Bueller and Sarah Thorpe, the new take on the story stars Michael Ealy, Jesse Williams, and Nicole Barry as part of an all-black cast. First announced in 2013 and finally shot in 2016, LD Entertainment's remake has remained mostly shrouded in secrecy. The alarm goes off, and that's the end of the secret. The production company's stated goal was to produce more of a homage rather than a copy of the original, contemporizing the story while remaining true to the issues it examines and questions raised. In the original, scripted by Bruce Joel Rubin, the protagonist is a Vietnam veteran who experiences prior to and during the war result in fragmented flashbacks and bizarre hallucinations that continue to haunt him as he desperately tries to get to the bottom of it all. Although not a box office hit, it grossed $26 million on a $25 million budget. The film went on to achieve cult hit status. Co-produced by Will Packer Productions, the official synopsis for the 2019 remake reads, after losing his brother in combat, Jacob Singer returns home from Afghanistan, only to be pulled in a mind-twisting state of paranoia. Singer soon realizes that his sibling is alive, but life is not what it seems. The movie's release has long been a question mark, even after LD Entertainment announced in August 2018 that it would open in theaters on February 1st, 2019. That, of course, didn't happen. At the 2019 Cannes Film Market, indie distribution house Vertical Entertainment acquired the U.S. rights to the film and has now set an August theatrical premiere date following an exclusive Dish July window premiere. It wouldn't be the first time that Vertical Entertainment has crafted a similar kind of deal for a seemingly troubled film, one that went through multiple rewrites by at least 3 different writers and 2 directors in 2018. The distributor picked up Emma Asante's much-maligned interracial Nazi romance. Okay.
Yes, I've actually heard about this movie, by the way. It's gotten so much controversy, by the way.
I wonder why! Where Hands Touch, and opened in theaters, followed by an exclusive window on DirecTV. There was also Kevin Connolly's 2018 biopic Gotti, another film that languished for several years. Originally set to be released in the United States in December 2017 by Lionsgate, it was delayed after the company sold the film back to its producers. It was then picked up by Vertical and in a joint release with MoviePass Ventures, opened in theaters in June 2018, and like Where Hands Touch is too, it too was a critical and commercial flop.
Yes, and we did talk about Gotti as well. That was the John Travolta movie that he was depicting the mafia member Gotti, and it was like really hated because they said that it was like incredibly incompetent, and they portrayed Gotti, a mafia leader, as like a hero. So
Yay!
That's why I got. Yeah, I know. Yay.
It is likely that expectations for Jacob's Ladder aren't particularly high, but for fans of the film's cast, especially for the talented, if underused, Behari, who has been mostly absent from screen since exiting her Fox TV series Sleepy Hollow in 2016, the wait is finally over.
That doesn't look good. I mean, we're talking about a similar fate to what happened to 2 critically panned movies, so I'm hoping that this would be like 3rd time's the charm, but with the way that sounds, I'm not sure. All right, so let's go over to our YouTube news as our last bit of news because
we hate ourselves, apparently.
Yeah, we really do hate ourselves.
Every once in a while, it's just fun to look up at that sword of Damocles and see just how close it's getting.
I'm just hoping
it's just hanging over my head.
All right, so yeah, this was actually the YouTube hacking video ban sparks outrage. So I'm sure you guys know about this bit of information. If you've heard about this, YouTube has sparked outrage after wrongfully removing legitimate educational cybersecurity videos as a result of pause. It's not pausing. I hate this.
It won't leave.
Why won't you go away? I said pause.
It wouldn't leave.
Right, go. There.
There.
Okay, so after wrongfully removing legitimate educational cybersecurity videos as a result of a new written policy. According to tech site The Register, the written policy first appeared in the Internet Wayback Machines archived in an April 5th, 2019 snapshot. The policy specifically bans instructional hacking and phishing, showing users how to bypass secure computer systems or steal user credentials and personal data. Well, duh, of course you should remove stuff like that. But the InfoSec community says that the policy is broken because it's seen viable educational content is also being removed.
Well, yes. Yeah, that's what happens when you tell a robot to police. And yes. And also when you don't investigate things and treat everyone as guilty until proven innocent. It's almost like these are really bad things, especially putting them together, it only multiplies how bad it is.
Yeah. This content has been used by security professionals and businesses for many years to hone their skills and learn about new threats. The issue with YouTube's written policy on hacking videos became clear when security researcher Cody Kinsey complained to the Register after his video created for the U.S. July 4th holiday which showed launching fireworks over Wi-Fi couldn't be uploaded. He claimed that he also had his issues with other content he tried to post to YouTube's Null Byte channel. Kinsey's tweeted on July 3rd, "We made a video about launching fireworks over Wi-Fi for the 4th of July to find out that YouTube gave us a strike because we teach about hacking, so we can't upload it. YouTube has reinstated the video." It responded to Kinsey on Twitter, "Our policy team reviewed the flag video and determined it was taken down by mistake. We have gone ahead and reinstated the video and resolved the strike on your channel. We hope you can upload their 4th of July fireworks video now." YouTube has also sent a statement via email. A spokesperson said, "With the massive volumes of video on our site, sometimes we make the wrong call. We have an appeals process in place for users, which, when it's brought up to our attention that a video has been removed mistakenly, we act quickly to reinstate it."
Quickly.
Quickly. That's
very
funny.
quickly.
It is thought Kinsey's video was banned because it was mistaken for hacking content, something that provides reproducible steps to gain unauthorized access to a secure system where the victim is a large institution, for example. YouTube has accused of wrongfully taking down valid content before. In the past, it has come under fire for wrongfully flagging content showing war crimes as violent or extremist to the frustration of human rights activists. As far as cybersecurity videos are concerned, YouTube often removed them previously if enough users complained, or as if they found to have violated Google Videos site's written policies. The video that sparked the debate is now available again, but the issue has raised concern among InfoSec professionals who question the clarity of the policy overall. It is concerning that the harmful and dangerous community content policy is quite broad in its definition, which means legit videos may be taken down as a result, especially when they said policy used the word hacking in a derogatory way, said security researcher Christy Morgan. At the same time, it is not clear how YouTube is flagging these videos for removal. It removes extreme content via machine learning algorithm, which also auto-flags videos that violate YouTube policies. It is thought a human also views his content flagged by the machine learning algorithm.
It is thought.
Sure. Morgan says that social media moderation teams already have a hard enough time meeting requirements, asking, "I wonder how they will perform under something that may fall down to technicalities." Well, I do see perhaps their reasoning providing a blanket ban is affecting those who use their videos legitimately, as security researcher Sean Wright. He says Google should revisit this policy since it's simply too broad.
Well, welcome to YouTube.
Sure.
I just find it kind of funny because it's like, of course their policy is broad. Of course their policy flags a bunch of stuff that it doesn't actually need to. It does that by design. It's been doing that by design for all of their other policies for every other thing for years. How is this a surprise?
Right, like over like 15 years.
Yeah, just about. These videos provide a great opportunity to many who otherwise could not afford the training to help them get into the industry and better their careers, as well as helping secure their organizations. Wright also wonders, what is the cause for this sudden policy change? Well, it'll be Google's next move: ban search results on hacking books. What the policy means for educational security videos on YouTube in the long term is still unknown, but the security community agrees that if legitimate videos continue to be taken down, it will cause major issues. It will be a big loss of free online training content, said security researcher John Optennacker. I don't get why they do it, to be quite honest. Even black hat hacking videos are beneficial to defenders. Blocking all hacking videos to me is a very poor decision. YouTube needs to state clearly what is acceptable and how legitimate videos can continue to be shared online within this area, says Morgan. Are publicly disclosed and patched vulnerabilities going to be an issue to give coverage to? Are adaptations and modifications, any tampering to serve a greater good but against TOS or EULAs, going to be taken down? Morgan also expresses concern for smaller providers who said they could find themselves silenced. We may lose those resources as a result. But some experts think that this could be an opportunity for other online video platforms. A lot of people may not be amused by this, and previous actions from Google, Oppenhacker says. Online learning has taken many barriers from people, and people will adapt. If YouTube will not host it, then someone else will. So yeah, that's actually a really interesting yet controversial discussion about if, hacking should be available to the public more, or should it be just removed entirely.
Mm.
I'm just checking to make sure with all the times we said hacking in this stream. I haven't gotten this stream demonetized yet. Nope, still monetized. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
I think we said hacking just as much as we said cheesesteak.
So now we got to figure out exactly what we're going to get ads for on this. I'm hoping cheesesteak.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Jay Fernstein says, YouTube making poor decisions? Blasphemy!
I know, right? It's crazy.
Oh, man.
Oh.
So, now that we've gotten the unpleasantness out of the way, what have we got going on this coming week?
Let's see. I recently posted up an episode of my podcast where ironically, since we were talking about Arthur, I actually had somebody who is a co-host of an Arthur podcast, Cocaine Not Included. But
is that the name of the Arthur podcast?
No,
it should be. It should be.
It is called City Limits, actually. So if you are interested in looking back on the show, then you can go listen to them, where they talk about each episode every single week. And right now they're in their 7th season out of 22, so they have a long way to go.
Oh, awesome!
And also as of tomorrow, I'll be uploading the next episode of Pixmix, not Dream Machine. We'll be discussing about something related to possibly Toy Story because of Toy Story 4. What is it? Well, you're going to have to find out tomorrow and see for yourself. So, what do you got, Creepy?
New Batman review coming.
Cool.
Decker, what about you?
Yes, what about you?
Recorded the last parts of the Let's Play of Sakura Angels. I know everyone's chomping at the bit for that one.
Yeah.
No, no one cares? Okay, great. But also, the summer of Jackie Chan is continuing. I'm very happy to see that a lot of the requests that have been popping up in the comments are things that I have already purchased and will be reviewing, but there are also some that I have never heard of before, so there's that. What is this Rush Hour? What?
Rush Hour. Does it have? I think it has something to do with like the rules of the road.
Jackie Chan stuck in traffic for 90 minutes.
There you go. That's what it's about.
Darth Necrosis says next episode should be called Cheesesteaks and Cocaine. That'll get demonetized fast.
Decker, we? I know we're not doing the Summer of Marvel Superheroes this summer. We already covered that. Are we going to do that other thing that we talked about?
The butt stuff?
No.
Oh, I'm not sure then.
The sequel.
I think he doesn't know what you're talking about.
Drunken Master 2, Nimrod.
Probably.
Okay. Unless, is that the movie that you are actually working on right now that you've already,
Oh, no, I got Rush Hour.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But,
tune in next time, as Becker's going to be talking about a Jackie Chan film where he's stuck in traffic for 90 minutes.
Very true.
But, yeah, what else was it? Oh, okay, so, also, still streaming on Sundays and Wednesdays, though I missed last Wednesday just because everything was all crazy, and I wanted to make sure that the video got out on time, and I got it uploaded on time, and I still didn't get it out on time because YouTube blocked it immediately. But also been uploading the videos to BitChute now, but it's been getting a little cluttered there because I manually upload to BitChute, and then YouTube would have it unblocked, and then BitChute would automatically back it up, and then I'm getting double videos on there, and I can't find the option to delete one of my videos, so it looks like hell. So I went ahead and turned off my auto-updater for BitChute, and I'm just going to be manually uploading everything to BitChute as well to try and make sure that I'll actually get things out every Wednesday. You can follow me on my Twitter, and I will be posting the BitChute links if the YouTube processing, after finishing processing, it just ends up being blocked worldwide again, and I have no idea when I'm going to get it out. Then I'll post the BitChute link. The Glass review is still up on BitChute, ready to be watched for anyone who still hasn't seen it. The next stage on the copyright fight for that it looks like it's going to happen on the 18th, when I'll find out whether or not it'll be unblocked or it will be another few weeks of dealing with BS. Yeah, that's pretty much. I've been playing some Blood and Truth on PSVR, which has been a lot of fun, but there's been so many storms lately, I really don't want to play too much VR because it just messes with my head if I do it for too long, and I keep playing Blood and Truth for too long because it's really damn fun. So yeah, Summer Jackie Chan, stuff going on Twitch with live streams on Sundays and Wednesdays. Finished off the Sakura Angels Let's Play, gotta upload the rest of the videos to the gaming channel, and that's that.
Alright, sounds good.
Awesome.
Ooh, I'm clicking with the wrong mouse. I know what I'm doing.
Well, thank you all for watching. I've been that long-haired creepy guy.
I've been Patricia.
I've been Decker Shadow. And remember,
never believe what you've seen on TV.
Mushrooms are really good on cheesesteaks.
That too.
So is Cheese Whiz.
No.
You lied.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.